loves that you have?
I got a date tonight anyway. So
You're gonna lose them by
yeah, she's not listening.
your Trump support. How do you know? Your date could be a fan of Surreal Talk.
Support for, or lose, the ladies for having Trump support.
Most white women voted for Trump. He won the white woman to vote. That's why he
Well,
won.
What about non-white women?
Well, I'm not dating any non-white women, but
Not that
I
you
would
know
entertain
of.
the thought. Yeah.
I'm going to leave this conversation now and go to the restroom.
Oh.
Where are you going?
I expect the stream to be on fire by the time I get back.
Jeez.
Here she comes, Mr. America.
He knew right off the bat to come in
Damn.
second.
Wow.
Good call there, Mr. Ortiz.
Rennie's the man. Why don't I have
Right on it.
international?
He got
that
chicken
game?
dinner into this shit today, apparently.
You got chicken din din?
No, I mean, like, he's first.
If you ain't first, you're last,
Is he
bud.
usually first?
Yeah, Rennie's first every single time, ever, in the history of ever. Yes. Yes, that's true, too. Marissa says no black women voted for him. Hey, hubby.
That's probably true. We got a very small.
She's talking to you, Armand.
She's right. I have to agree with that.
How is everyone doing? Mr. Ortiz, Rennie, Marissa. Oh, the Donald. We're talking about the Donald today. Should be a good one. Armand said he's ready to fight today. He's pro-Trump, and he's ready for some altercations. He's ready to punch an old man out at a Trump rally is what he's ready to do. I can already tell. Armand's got that MAGA look in his eye.
Yeah, I've been drilling wrestling moves today, so I'm ready to throw. I'm not a striker. I'm a thrower and a ground and
Light
pound
Peach,
guy.
what's up? What's up, Light Peach?
I wonder if Marissa will still date me now.
No, you fucked it up, Armand. No.
Hey, listen,
I'm just
we can still have a great relationship. We just won't discuss politics.
I'm good. How you doing, Eric? I'm good. I'm good.
yeah,
You got
she didn't
the
say
cold
hello to
shoulder
me.
there, buddy.
Oh, no.
I'm good.
Oh, hubby, that's me. She said, hey. She's not talking to you.
Donald Trump is the best president. This is
Wow.
Desert CrossFitter. Lowest unemployment rates. We're going to talk about that, too. We're not going to, I said in the thing, we're not going to shit on him for an hour straight. We're going to talk about the stuff
You're
that.
going to piss on him for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm. But Marissa says, wait, Armand is pro-Trump? I want a divorce.
Uh-oh. Oh, come on.
Oh,
but cute.
man. Latins
Oh,
for Trump.
wow.
Ortiz says Latins
Look at
for Trump.
this.
Donald Trump drinks Bud Ice.
Bud Ice? What's Bud Ice?
Budweiser
On
has
ice?
it has a there's Budweiser, Bud
Yeah.
Light,
Yeah,
Bud
what's
Ice.
Oh, I don't know. I never drank.
Bud Ice is 5.6% alcohol. It's more than a regular
wow.
beer. Yeah.
You drunk it before?
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I like light. I'm a pussy, I guess. I like Bud Light or natural light. Do you drink? Have you ever drank natural
I like
light?
Bush.
Ooh,
I'm the only
Bush
guy in
is
the world.
old.
Everybody says they hate it.
Bush is rough, dude.
I like it.
I mean, it's rough, Armand.
Well, you have any in the fridge? I
Huh?
have one right now.
Oh gosh, I don't know, man.
we
Bush,
didn't bring any
Bush
beer
is
today.
it's a rough beer. My older cousin used to drink it, and he'd put salt in it.
What's that?
Bush beer.
Who? Corey would do that?
Yeah.
Bush? I don't know. I
I
like
did learn
Bush.
that from Grandma.
I don't know.
Somebody's
She was
having a
kinda
problem
right
with their audio?
My audio's wacky. Touched by a 12 gauge. I don't hear the fan. Get it?
I do. Yeah, let's get some feedback on the audio. Jay's
What's
got
up, y'all? What's
wacky
up,
audio.
Dominic? Dominic.
Put on
Let's get everybody. Let me get an audio check. Is it how are we sounding
the-
here?
You sound good.
I always sound good, Armand.
I'm gonna turn on the stream myself. Take it.
Well,
Matt
you-
Soares, you think
you
drink
sound-
Canadian beer? We know how to do it properly. You should. Oh, I should drink Canadian beer.
I like Molson.
Is that Canadian beer?
Yeah, that's Canadian. Molson Golden. Mm-hmm.
Nice. My audio is fine. It's just really low, even though I've got the volume up.
Hmm.
So you need to make us hotter, Everett.
Yes, warm us up.
What?
Yungling. That's
Yuengling.
That's Canadian.
I don't know. I don't like that kind of beer. I just drink like Bud Light and
Was that
natural
the
light.
first beer to come in a can?
What?
Bush. Sorry.
Bush's crap.
Wow. Well,
Rennie, 10 out of 10. Oh, that's an audio there. Old
Oh,
English
okay.
800 was water for me. The
Wow.
fan.
Desert
Well, the fan.
CrossFitter,
Yeah, you
wow.
got it. Another fact: Trump is making America great again. Get on the
Boy.
Trump train. Choo choo. Libs.
man. Right.
Corona with lime and salt. What's up? What's up, Dabney?
Is Desert CrossFitter a regular listener?
Yeah. Oh,
really?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it a man or a woman?
I can't remember.
What's the
but
matter?
yeah.
What does it matter?
Because if it's a woman, I'll marry her.
Oh, obvious.
Oh, drink
I
old
drink
Milwaukee. That
old-
sounds like a man to me.
We call that old
Ooh,
a
mill
Milwaukee.
yucky.
real
So
man.
Milwaukee.
That's a real man.
We call that old mill yucky.
Wasn't
Nothing wrong with-
bad.
Dude, Milwaukee's Beast. I didn't mind it. Beast Light. Many a times.
That's
I was a kid, I
disgusting.
drunk Beast Light.
Now what was when I was in college, we used to drink red, white, and blue.
Pabst.
No, red, white, and blue.
Never heard of it.
It was it was like
Shit, you were
$3
back in
a
the Stone
case.
Age.
$3 a case.
Hell no, that's enough to
Yeah,
die.
the trick was to kill your taste buds with like a good 6-pack of good beer, and then drink red, white, and blue all night, and to get drunk because it was horrible,
Really?
but it was cheap. That and Rhinelander. Rhinelander was cheap beer.
I never had
Rhinelander.
Rhinelander.
I don't
The
even
cheapest
like
we
them.
drank
We're
was
talking about
was
the 80s.
Pabst.
Well, this is much. That was blue ribbon stuff compared to this. Yeah, that was.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, I'm able to watch
From
again.
Ohio, bro.
I'm
Guy
glad,
originally
Chris.
from New Mexico. Well, we'll be friends. We'll just
Good
be
old
friends.
American
Good
humor.
friends.
Oh, me, Chris. Don't you think I care if you're watching again?
Wasn't Jungling though the first beer in a can?
I don't know. I
Is that
thought
the
it's
trivia question?
You're asking me like I know that.
Well, whoever brought up Jungling, I think.
Were we
that's-
doing the game on air or off air ever?
No, I want to do it on the show.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we got a game for Armond today.
Oh, no, we'll
and
talk
he-
about it though whenever we.
Well, I know. I'm just letting people in the
I
chat
have no
know.
idea what this is about.
He doesn't know
I don't know
anything
anything
about
about
it.
this.
So we're gonna test Armond here
they're
tonight,
toying with me today.
on the podcast. It
Rolling
should be
Rock.
really good. This is gonna be hey, it should be funny.
This isn't a trivia quiz.
Hey man,
huh?
I like Bud Light. What's
No,
wrong with
no,
that?
no.
I like
this-
Bud Light. I like
Yeah.
Miller Lite too.
Yeah, Miller Lite's not
That's
bad.
a family beer there.
It's not bad.
So-
I prefer Bud Light, but I'll drink Miller Lite after you've had a few. It don't really fucking
Now,
matter.
how come some of these are in italics like that?
What are you talking about?
That one
Well,
that was just somebody. He
yeah.
said,
Right.
"Gross as fuck." Whenever you say
Oh,
fuck, it
right.
it automatically puts your chat out. So I said, "No. Come on back. I don't want that hidden. Nobody sees
Oh.
that. They'd see it on the live chat thing on the stream,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't see it in their little chat until I said, "Okay, I
Oh.
want that to get out
Oh,
there."
okay. So if there's some sort of profanity.
Yeah,
used-
I'm always watching and moderate. You know, like keep
You're
saving,
moderating?
saving
Big
people
brother.
from
Oh, God.
Big
bad
brother.
words like fuck. You know.
Yeah, who would moderate this show? Oh
don't
my
know, who
God!
could?
It's like
Fuck,
moderating
I don't
a
know.
Nuremberg rally. About 10% tax. Right, facts. LOL. Gross as fuck.
I have no
What
clue.
does
Desert
say?
CrossFitter says, try being a conservative married to a liberal and her
Wow.
whole family is left wing. We literally can't have a normal
Yeah.
conversation.
And that's the thing.
That sucks,
I'll
and
come
that's
down and visit you
stupid that
guys.
happens, but I hear
If
you.
you need help, fuck you.
Thanks, Chris.
I love where they cuss you out.
I know.
Somebody wanted to punch you in the mouth last week. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Really?
hell yeah.
Who wanted to punch me in the
I don't know.
What
That was
for?
great.
Probably
What for?
deserved it. It was
because of your-
Armand's
no,
second account.
It was because it was on your. No, it was your. I think it was. He agreed with us on the marijuana because you were so anti.
Oh yeah,
You were saying
that's
how
right.
it's none of it's proven, etc.
Yeah.
Whoever said that,
You're
please.
gonna get your ass beat talking like that.
Yeah, somebody's gonna come in and kick your ass.
Oh, please,
Especially
God.
now that since you've lost all that weight, you're not
Just-
as intimidating
Just
as you used
stomp
to
the
be.
shit out of me. Yeah, it was all the weight is what,
Yeah, you
where
were
my power came
rather
from.
imposing.
I was like
figure.
Samson. I lost my weight and my power's gone.
Yeah, well, grow your hair long and
The Rock
Yeah,
for
sure,
president, Rennie
The
said.
Rock. Wow. Yeah, he may be running.
I know.
Really? That'd be
You think he's gonna run? I don't think he's
I
gonna.
hope he does the people's eyebrow.
That,
you
that
you
thing
know what
would-
I'm talking?
Well, that thing. Yeah, I can't do it.
I can't do it either. It's a beautiful thing, though. How far away are we from ready?
And I didn't know. I'm sure the wrestling guys know. Wasn't his father Rocky Johnson?
Yes, it was. His grandfather was High Chief Peter Maivia.
Yeah.
Him? I don't know. Was he a
The
wrestler?
late,
too?
He
great
was a
Peter
Samoan.
Maivia. Yeah.
You know, one of the-
So that's where he got Rocky Johnson from.
Yeah. Well, he's Dwayne Johnson, right?
Yeah.
That's his real name. I
Yeah.
remember Rocky Johnson, big guy. Is Everett a liberal? I don't know. Is he?
No, man, I don't have a affiliation. I'm a
Non-denominational.
I'm a non-political.
Uh-oh. So
I
it's
am.
going to be me and Eric going at it today.
No. I get to look at this from an interesting point of view.
You're the
I think.
buffer?
I mean, really, I don't have any kind of allegiance to either side.
No, I agree there. I'm not with either or, but I can tell you what I'm against.
Yeah. Well, are you for Obama? What did you think about him?
He's in the
Obama.
past,
Shit,
man.
I
He
don't know.
wasn't
Okay,
too
how about
bad.
Bush?
He
How
wasn't
about-
bad.
well,
They were.
Bush. Let's go
Funny
over.
guy.
That's what I was going to ask you. What presidents do you admire? Because I'll tell you ones I admire, and Trump, as yet, is not in the top 5 even.
Well,
Just
we'll
if you-
figure it
you know,
out.
Okay. That's my game.
Desert CrossFitter says he's a corrections officer, so we are government
good for
workers.
you.
And you would be surprised how
Thank
many Trump
God.
supporters we got.
Yeah, Uncle
Obama
was a
third
corrections
term
officer.
changed my
Hey,
mind.
me for president, you for vice president. I don't know about that ticket.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I don't want you on my ticket.
Bullshit, Armand. I could do some good.
Too liberal. 10% of the.
I would say I do lean towards liberal, if it, honestly.
Yeah.
I believe in personal liberty.
Oh no, I'm very liberal as far as legalizing drugs, etc.
same here.
Socially
Right.
liberal, fiscally conservative. Oh
Fair
God,
enough.
you know me. You know what I think about.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
you're
I'm
like
very liberal about stuff like that.
Yeah, you're tight though.
Obama's
Otherwise,
an elitist. Bush is retarded.
oh my God, well, let's.
Wow. I got a feeling
That's
we're gonna get a
relevant.
lot of messages from Desert CrossFitter today.
I know this is
A lot
going to
of
be interesting.
comments.
This is going to
Be
be
a good show.
Yeah, it's,
Hey, I hope his wife gets on too. That'd be great if they've gotten a fight on
Yeah.
air.
I agree with Rennie, though. There should be a party. But I don't really like even it being a party. Just don't give a fuck. That's what they should just refer to
There
the people
should
that.
be no
well, it's like
parties.
atheism. You know what I mean? I hate that I have to be labeled because you exist. I now have a label.
Right.
Well, listen, the
think
founding
about it.
fathers. If I can go into this in some detail if you want to put people to sleep, but
I do, but not
the
yet.
party system that is not
let's
what
just
they
start.
envisioned.
Let's just get this going.
Start the MFing show.
That's it.
That's
This
it.
can
That-
be held
that-
off no longer.
That's it. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. It's gonna be huge. You know how many people are watching right now, Everett?
I'm just wondering.
Billions and billions
What
and
I went with?
yeah, the Donald.
It's fine, right?
I seen it, of course.
All right.
Desert. So Desert CrossFit. You
Huh,
would be surprised how
Michelle.
many Trump supporters we got. Are you talking about the workers or the people being corrected?
Talking about coming after you, Armand.
Well, he's a corrections officer. Maybe the prisoners. I don't know.
Anyway, here we go.
Rip it.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal.
Not even a little.
You're by my skin in Fortnite. Something's not right, man. Something's not right. Something's bullshit here, and I don't believe it.
Honestly, this
Obama
crazy shit
Bush
could be
versus
completely
Trump
possible.
is gone. Disclaimer: we reserve the right to be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's still true.
Sure as
Think
the day
you know
said
the
it.
whole story?
Right.
Think again.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Derek and Delbert. We are back with Surreal Talk.
What's up, everybody?
That
Welcome
was
back
a weird
to Surreal
intro.
Talk.
I just figured I'd mix it up a little bit. This
Yeah,
is
an awkward
Eric
little pause.
Everett, and we are here with our favorite,
Oh, thank you.
He's the fifth Beatle of the show. I
Right.
mean,
the
Stu-
most
Stu
beloved.
Sutcliffe.
he's Stu Sutcliffe. He's,
Pete
he's
Best.
the drummer we didn't want or the bassist we didn't need.
Yeah, he was too good looking. That's why they got rid of him.
Yeah.
But in fact,
That's why we're
has,
getting rid of
has
you.
a
That's
decent
right.
following here. There's plenty of people.
I don't know.
on our
Marissa
team,
wants to rip
Armand.
me a new one already.
She may want to, but I get the feeling hashtag Armand would outstrip the combined hashtag Team Everett and Team Eric. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow.
What do you mean?
If we were to actually put that on the poll, he'd be ahead of both of us probably
You
combined.
think so?
I know you have some very intelligent listeners,
How
so I
many-
have to agree with that.
How many reviews have we gotten to say, why don't you get rid of me and you and just let Armand do the show?
Oh
Thank-
yeah.
thank you,
From the
Johnny.
people that can get fucked. Yeah, those reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
I'll get around. I'll get around to global warming today, if you know. Yeah. If
Yeah, I'm sure. Why
I
not?
know your listeners sort of yearn for
We
it.
could talk about the EPA eventually. We'll
Oh,
get there.
don't- oh,
But today's show, yeah, we're talking about
The Donald.
yeah.
number 45, President Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trump.
Donald D.
J.
Trump. No.
Mhm.
No.
Donald
John.
D.
Donnie John. Donnie
DJ.
John.
Johnny Don.
Yeah, Donnie John.
DJT.
Uh,
How would you like to?
One thing I want to get to is talk about how he's polarized the nation. How the nation is actually polarized on.
You don't think
is
it
it
was
his
before?
fault? Yeah, that's why is that
fair
his
enough.
fault?
It's not his fault.
We have to be objective. I want
But
this
the last
entire
3
show
or 4
to be
presidents,
like,
it's gotten worse and worse and worse. These last several presidents.
Fair. He
You
didn't.
know-
He didn't do anything to help the situation at all.
Oh no, he used it.
Now, what do you
In
think
my
the
opinion.
cause
In fact,
of it? But what do you
that's
think the
true,
cause
yeah.
of the root cause of that is? I tend to think it's more
Reality
Well,
TV.
yeah, Facebook. I think it's social media.
I think it's
Every part
income
of it.
Not that I know anything about
inequality,
that.
wealth inequality.
Oh boy,
You don't
you
think
gotta
so?
be kidding.
You don't think so?
Why do
That's
you
a lot
think
of the
that?
reason that
Absolutely
people
not.
are.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
We've always had
Right,
wealth
well,
There's
inequality.
plenty. And you think that's why
That's
people?
a new
Because
problem.
the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
And
That's a misnomer too, though. As a proportion, yes, the rich are getting much richer than the poor. But we've talked about this. The poor in this country are like royalty compared to Guatemala, Nicaragua, El Salvador, wouldn't you say?
Not that they
Well,
should be
that's
happy
fair.
with that.
Right,
I
yeah.
think
a
they
lot
should.
more.
I think most are. I mean, with air conditioning, a big screen TV, cell phone. I mean, like 75% have cell phone. These are people below the poverty level.
Right.
I don't know. More than half have air conditioning, cable TV. I mean, what do you
Okay.
consider poor in this country? Now, I'm not talking about the homeless. Those people are really
I mean, I guess
indigent.
not being able to eat, I would
Well, I don't
consider
think we
for,
have
but
that
then,
much
but
of a
we
problem.
do.
Surviving without a government stipend dependence or something
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
getting-
Yeah, if you can't survive like without government help, I would consider
Consistently,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
you're
I
getting
don't know.
government help. That's what I'm talking about. You're getting SNAP, and you're getting, you're getting all these.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
but
Well, to need that, I would consider you poor to need that.
right
you could
there you
say-
go.
That's
mean,
true.
And I've been poor. I grew up poor. I've
Okay.
been poor. You know
Okay.
what I mean, so I understand that.
Did you ever go hungry?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I
I don't
did,
know.
but
When
that
I
was
was
'cause I was
like
on the wrestling
18 or
team.
20 years old, you know what I
Voluntary.
mean? Like I moved
You
out of my
literally
mom's
didn't
for the
you
first
really-
time and
literally
didn't have money
food
for food.
for money for food.
No, yeah, no, that's true. I didn't when I lived when we lived out in that trailer out there.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean we would scrape up nickels and dimes for a big pack of like ramen noodles.
Okay,
I
that's
was
how
18
lived
years
through-
old, 20
I
years
lived
old.
in
yeah.
medical school like that. What do you think I ate?
Right.
Spaghetti. I was
Wondering
lucky.
where you're
But what
gonna
does
get
this
your-
have to do with the
Well, he
I
said,
don't know.
he said,
polarization
well,
of the nation?
well, he said it's due to wealth inequality.
Yeah,
Right.
I just think people
think
are
we've already
people
always had that.
No, I just think the divide between the rich and the poor has never been greater than it is right now. And,
Yeah, but
and
what does
there's
that have to
no-
do with the
because
divide between?
That's what I'm saying. The divide is just getting greater.
So
Which-
you're saying there's a correlation between
are you
Trump
talking
supporters' amount of
racial
money?
or what are you
No,
talking
I'm
divide?
You're making it as a economical situation.
Okay, so what are you talking about when you say divide?
what you're talking about?
I think
How
he
you said how
you
you
say
said,
Trump's a polarizing figure, and I have to agree with that.
And if you're saying it's caused by the wealth inequalities, I have to say, how is it caused? Because there's plenty of people with money who support Trump and plenty of people without money. And on both sides, I don't think money has anything to do with it. Honestly, at
Okay,
this
so
point.
then what do you think he's polarizing people about? What do you think he's dividing them?
100 different things.
Okay.
Well, that's what this show is about, correct?
Exactly right. From his stance on abortion, whatever that may be today, to the way he does Twitter. There's 100 different things.
Do you follow him?
No, I don't follow anybody
follow
on
him?
Twitter.
No,
Armand's
I
not
don't
on
follow
Twitter.
anybody. I'm not even on Twitter.
Oh, you're not on Twitter?
We got to get Armand on Twitter.
know
He
how
needs
to-
to be on Twitter.
I don't know how to tweet. Get me on Titter.
Oh my
I
god.
gotta get laid.
Jesus.
All right. Anyway. Okay. So how do we go about? I thought there was. When do we play the game?
Well, let's
We'll
hit
get
the
there.
voicemail.
All right.
We have a voicemail.
Oh, good.
You want to do that first, real quick?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, let's get the voicemail before we get
Oh,
all
by the
into
way, we
this.
got to thank Desert CrossFitter for his service. Served in Afghanistan. Wow.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, geez, here comes the socialist talk from Eric. Eat it.
God damn it. Guilty as charged. Not socialist so much, but
Commie.
I
Yeah,
just
you're
don't
right.
believe.
I
I
think
just
I just
like
re-
helping people.
Let's just wrestle. Come on.
No.
Let's get it over with.
This has
Jesus,
gone
one
way
one
off.
monster for Armand. and
Yeah, you
he's-
got me
it's
going.
Game over.
Yeah, I rolled it up in my my brew.
All right, here we go. This is
Here's the
Marissa,
voicemail.
one of the best and oldest listeners on the show. Not oldest in age, but oldest in listening to the show. She's not an old lady.
She love us long time.
Yeah, there you go. That's accurate.
Eric.
Let me restart it.
Oh
I
yeah,
fucked it
back
up.
that
Wow.
up. What you got going on here, Everett? Jesus Christ.
You know me.
Hey there, Eric.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Hey, Everett.
How's it going?
Oh, you're not gonna play?
Oh, I'm playing.
He's not gonna play. Anyways, so I just wanted to say one thing. You guys
What's that?
haven't seen Doctor Who before,
No. It's
true.
and
Well,
you really need to give
Hold on. I did watch like one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a Whovian?
No, I couldn't get into it, man. It was goofy.
All right, keep going, keep going.
Doctor Who a chance. Like fucking seriously,
Maybe
it's
I'll
an
skip that
amazing
one.
television show. I know, right, Eric?
I need to.
I know.
For sure, for sure.
Anyways,
I agree.
So, yeah, start with the episodes with Christopher Eccleston.
I don't know
Well, I'm
who that
glad
is.
you asked that, Eric. He's the guy that came in right around
Jesus.
when they started to revamp it.
Oh, okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
start with Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper, and then well, she played Rose Tyler. Listen, Eric, stop interrupting.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Anyhow,
I know.
Start with those episodes. Don't
Hold on.
start with the
This
ones
is
from
the
the
best
1960s.
voicemail
I just
ever.
looked up who
because
that
you're
guy
not going
is.
to be able to,
Hang on, back.
to
Stop
really
Marissa for a
appreciate
sec.
it.
Hang on, Marissa. One
won't
sec.
pause. It won't
We're gonna need to
pause.
pause you for a sec.
That's where I started with the Christopher Eccleston episodes.
Who the fuck is Christopher Eccleston?
Hold on. Did you see Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah.
He was the guy who made the chairs. At the, the main bad guy who was ordering all the cars.
No.
Hold on. Let's see. This guy here. See him?
No, I can't see him.
Yeah, you got horrible eyes. I'm not helping you out anymore.
All right,
Till you get some
anyway.
glasses. Anyway, that's where I started. So the first episode is, and the only episode I watched of it was his first episode as the Doctor.
I guess the guy can travel through time or different dimensions. What's the phone booth for?
I don't know. It's like a interdimension. It's like a closet that's huge on the inside and very small on the outside.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't start with.
It's a spaceship too. Space-time.
Now run her back 10 seconds.
All right.
Anyhow,
Okay.
start with those episodes.
right.
Don't start with the ones from the
Well,
1960s because you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, it's just been going on
So
for like
this
50
is Doctor
years.
Who she's talking
Yeah,
about, right?
Doctor
Okay,
Who,
I've
yeah.
never
Welcome
seen
to the
it.
show.
She's a
Armond.
Whovian. Yeah.
Oh, what is
Fucking with you.
it? Daleks or whatever the hell are? What are they?
Those were the robot type
Yeah,
creatures,
aren't
right?
they the
Yeah. See, I
villains?
know enough
That
about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's rip it. Come on.
Really appreciate it. Don't start
What?
with Matt Smith or
don't know.
Peter Capaldi because
I don't
you're
know
not
Matt
going to be
Smith.
able to understand what's going on. Just start with Christopher
Okay.
Eccleston and move forward. If by like episode 4 or
all
5 you're not
I will. I'll give it a not today.
give her
not
another
tomorrow.
shot.
Maybe not the next month, but I will give it another shot.
We'll give her a go.
into it,
All right.
then there's two types of people in the world: people who love Doctor Who and people who hate Doctor Who.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that makes sense about a lot of things.
I don't know
People-
Doctor Who, so I can't love him
Is
or
that
hate
still
him.
going on? I mean, it's
Yeah.
been on for like 50-something years, right? Since the early 60s, right?
Yeah,
Don't
they
watch
keep
the
changing
ones
the
in the
actor, but it's the
60s.
same
Oh, right.
character. Like he keeps
Yeah.
changing
They
bodies.
still come out with new shows. Huh?
Apparently so.
If you're one of the people that hates Doctor Who, that's totally fine. I just hate you both forever. But anyway, just give it a chance.
All right, we'll
And
give her
I
a
love
shot.
you guys so very much.
We heart you.
Team Marissa and Armand.
Oh,
Damn it.
oh.
Hey.
There it is. So
Wow.
she still loves you.
Yeah.
She's still a
well,
team on her
I
own
hope
team.
she-
That's cool.
Man.
No, it's not like I hate Doctor Who. I just couldn't get into it. I found it a little too dry for my taste. It's that British type of, sitcom. Yeah.
Oh, it's a sitcom.
It's not a
It's
sitcom.
sci-fi, right?
It's
Isn't it?
sci-fi, but it's got that dry British feel. I actually liked like Hitchhiker's Guide, the
Oh,
original like
Douglas
BBC
Adams,
mini series
that
and whatnot.
stuff.
I can't.
I didn't think that was very funny.
See, I liked that.
I know that was
that's weird.
tongue in cheek, but
What about the Donald?
What about him?
all right.
You ready to flip back over?
Yeah, and so another guy said in the chat that this is more of Eric's socialist
Yes,
stuff.
and
But,
I agree with that.
Okay, so we did a show on Seth Rich where the Clintons were heavily discussed. We even did a Clinton body count show, but so I'm just saying it's not about us.
Yeah, we've shit on the Clintons plenty.
It's
and
not about us
Democrats.
being left or right. Well, this is just
What? All right.
You know what I
let me
mean?
start
Yeah,
with
it's time.
Let me start with my
we've waited
question.
a
Why
while.
you apparently because I've read some of your Facebook comments.
Uh-huh. What do you got?
Something about IDs to buy groceries or whatever. That
Yeah.
certainly sets you
That's
off.
a big thing in the office lately, and
Is that what they're
I've seen a
discussing?
couple people from the office posting about that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
what
what
the deal
was,
is, Trump. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had mentioned in a interview somewhere that he
It's
thinks
like a
you're
town hall
required
meeting, I think.
to have show an ID to buy groceries, or be licensed to buy groceries, or
No,
something along those
you
lines.
should have to. You should have to show your
well,
ID.
well, you certainly.
There's
I think
a little
you.
clip.
I
going
think you
around
do if
about
you're
it.
using a card, right? Or a food card. Correct.
Yeah, I
you
think
have to have
that's
the
what
card.
that's what the back stamp was like if you're using like a link card
right,
or EBT.
Snap or whatever. You have to have your card. Oh,
You
come
don't.
on.
Eric's shaking his head. For the people on podcast, you can't hear his brain's shaking inside
don't
of his
think
You
head.
do
anybody-
not have to have your ID to use the food
Yeah, but you have to have
stamp
the card.
You have to have a 4-digit code.
That's all you
in
need.
Illinois, at least. Yeah, that's
Oh,
it,
no, are you sure about that?
dude. Yeah, that's the problem because people
Well, then
are.
that is a hell of a problem.
So, people are selling.
oh yeah.
They're giving their card. So, like,
It's
give
been
their
this
card
way
to their buddy.
forever, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had a guy working. I'm sure you guys, know this. I had a guy working on my house before I went into foreclosure, and
Bummer, sorry.
oh, it's all right. Those things happen. It was during the Obama administration, but
Fuck.
anyway. So yeah, and he'd come to me instead of paying, or I'd pay him for his work. He's a carpenter. But then he'd say, look, if you want to go down to Walmart with me, although he had to go, he just couldn't give me a code. I got a card. You buy me cigarettes. And, whatever, a carton of cigarettes was I don't know how much.
Yeah.
But he'd give me $50 or double what I paid
Yeah.
for the cigarettes with his card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just generally how it works, 2 to 1. I remember back when we were kids. that
Armand,
was-
that's illegal, and you just admitted to a
The
federal crime.
statute of limitations is
federal.
over. I think that's state, isn't it?
I don't know.
Because it's state.
I remember back when they had paper food stamps, and
Yeah.
you would sell that stuff 2
Right.
to 1. You'd have the people
Yeah.
running around the neighborhood at the beginning of the month every month.
Little kids have the going.
books,
to the,
yeah.
Little kids have their parents gave them
See,
a $5 food stamp.
Yeah. See, now this is a good point. Trump shit on LeBron James. I don't know why, but why? But should I care? But see,
Yeah, what's
that's
going on with
Trump.
that?
But that's Trump. See, anybody, because LeBron apparently was on somebody's show and said something about him. Trump's a New York guy. That explains everything to me. If you guys have ever been to New York,
All right, does
New
it
York
justify
people-
everything or explain
I'm
it?
not justifying
Okay.
anything. I'm just trying.
making
Right.
sure.
I'm making a personality
Fair.
assessment. Guys from New York, they're bombastic. They tend to hyperbolize everything.
Ew. Yeah, I know what
I'm
you
the
got, yeah.
greatest. Everything's going. Everything's terrific. It's not just
That
everything's
New
okay.
York, Jersey
Exactly.
attitude.
It's
Yeah.
a New York attitude. And if you say something about him,
Go fuck your mother type
yeah,
of thing, right? Yeah.
you hit me,
Where are you at on
Get
this,
you
Eric?
back.
I can't believe you're not all over the place with these Italian
Do you
type
buy
of.
that?
I was fixing the doc here. Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely a
Okay.
great stereotype. I would say.
Sure, that
Yeah,
explains
you know.
plenty.
I'm
I
good at
mean,
those.
it doesn't
I'm
make
walking
me feel any better
here.
about it.
That was ad
Ratso.
lib. That was ad lib, by the way.
You
Yeah.
probably never even
Wasn't
seen that
script.
movie, have you?
What?
Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah, Foot Business
No,
is
I
doing
have not.
terrible,
That was a good
Bob.
movie.
It's just awful.
No, I have not. So the common things that old Trump's accused of. What's everybody? You always hear of it. From
Liar.
Liar.
Okay, well, that's like accusing a whore of,
Being a
not
slut.
being a virgin. Yeah, I mean, he's a
What's-
politician. They all lie.
He's not a politician, though.
No,
Well,
yeah, but he's
he's-
not.
this is the
Yeah,
first time
running
he's
a
he's
business.
running for
ever-
office.
This is the first time in his life he's ever ran for anything and won, or even
Yeah,
won or lost otherwise. So I wouldn't say that he's a politician. In fact, that's part of the allure people have. He's not a politician. He's not
Right. He's
in
not.
that club. You know what I mean?
But does any politician tell the truth all the time?
No.
Okay, or
but
anybody?
so-
Doesn't
anyone
Bernie
running-
Sanders always tell the truth? I
No,
think Bernie always tells the
absolutely
truth. That's what people will have you believe.
Anyway, so do you
I don't
think
know if I buy
that Donald Trump, you're okay with him known being a liar, even when it comes to important
Sure,
issues?
I mean, that's
Yeah.
part of the deal.
Okay, Armand.
And you'll hear
doesn't
that a
mind-
lot. People
Armand
don't
doesn't mind
care.
that.
Which
Wow.
makes sense whenever you get Trump always saying, "Don't believe what you hear on TV. Don't believe what you hear from anybody else. Believe what I say." That's scarier than fuck. You got
Right.
somebody saying,
Yeah, but who
don't
does
believe
that?
anyone else.
You think anybody?
Who does
actually-
that? Exactly.
I
Who
don't.
does
Nobody
that?
does. Nobody does.
All right, so he's also accused, other than being, a sexist, a liar, a cheater,
I think Marissa just called him a racist.
A bigot, a
Or is that-
racist.
I know she's describing me or him, but
and some
both.
talks about him having collusion with the Russian government. So
I
we'll
thought
get into
that's what
that.
we-
We'll get
yeah.
into that.
So, okay, going through all these lists of not just accusations or whatever you want to call them, and trying to research the validity of these claims, good fucking luck finding anything on the internet that isn't slung in one way or the other.
Yeah,
correct.
that's the
Absolute-
thing,
That
yeah.
is the problem. Absolutely, I agree.
That's
with
It's
my
that.
hard
huge
to
problem.
pick through the
Sure.
bullshit because nobody's
Correct.
looking at this thing objectively, and that's what I tried to tell you. That's what I wanted to do here today. I didn't want to come in and be hating
What, by
on
bringing
Trump.
in Anderson Cooper?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
if you
What
Well,
other
snippets,
sources
come
are
on.
there though? We watch both
Fox
sides.
News, of
we
course.
watched plenty of Fox News
Okay,
today.
did you bring any of those in?
What was it? Dobbs?
Sean Hannity?
Lou
Lou
Dobbs? That
Sure.
guy sucks some Trump dick.
Okay.
But you know what? Every one of these
Well,
guys, I believe,
Anderson
they're
Cooper?
so. Every one of them are so like.
do you think they're fabricating the evidence that they're presenting?
I think they're slanting everything to fit their agenda on both sides, of course.
No, but I'm saying so. Like when we
sorry.
watch an Anderson Cooper video, do you think? And
Thank
he
you,
says,
Marissa.
and he says this guy in Trump's campaign went and met these people.
I wouldn't
Do
say
you
they're
think
fabricating.
That's fabricating.
What they're
Do you
doing is
think they're
reporting. They're
Yeah,
reporting
the
what
question is,
is
did he know it?
what is helpful to their agenda
Of
and their
course,
point
of
of view.
course. But
That's what it
does
is.
this not make it just because it
It'd
helps
be,
them?
it'd
Does
be
it not make
so
it relevant?
stupid to fabricate anything these days. With the internet, you can't fabricate. The only person who gets away with that is basically Trump. Okay, from what I understand. I can't tell you, honestly, I couldn't tell you if he's fabricating shit. That's the problem. I'm so spun as a mostly left-leaning guy that instantly I believe all the bad shit I hear about Trump.
True.
Right up front, I'll tell you right now, I have a
Thank you, Harry.
predisposition to not believe or to believe the bad stuff.
Really?
But I don't think most other people won't tell you that.
I'm assessing the man on the job he's doing.
That's what I've been
that's
trying
what-
to
yeah,
do.
If you remain objective, I think the guy's doing a good job. That's all. Now this other stuff, I'm not saying he's the most pleasant guy in the world or that he doesn't have his foibles. God, we all do. But let's assess him on what he's done and what he's accomplished.
Well, let's
Some people
assess-
may hate that too.
Well, let's do that, but let's
Okay.
go on the racist charge. I'm
All
looking
right.
at a NewYorkTimes.com article, which they, through my research, have been one of the most anti-Trump papers you could find out there.
Who's this?
New York Times.
Oh God, yes. Of
I,
course.
I have no clue what the political
Are they fake
affiliations.
news, Armand?
Sure. Are you? Well, they have an agenda too.
The only
How do you
people-
define
Has
fake
an agenda.
news?
See, that's my problem too. I don't know the agenda of all these papers. I haven't kept up with it. I know Fox News traditionally is Republican-ish, right-leaning.
Sure.
That's
Right.
the only
You
one
don't
I
think
know.
the New York Times has an agenda on?
Apparently,
Look at that.
Who
Look at
decides
that. Look
the
at
New
that
York
Asian
Times?
woman.
Hang on. Who decides the or the New York Times' agenda? Who decides?
They're editors.
Their editors, of
course.
and not their owners or who. Just
I'm
their,
not sure who owns the New York Times, and whoever they are, they're losing money, but that doesn't matter to them.
you don't think it's Bilderberg Group?
I'm not
Just
sure who
throwing that
owns the
out
New
there.
York Times.
I don't know.
Anyway, but let's go through a couple of these things
Well, I
on
have
this
a
New
fan.
York Times
Thanks, Harry.
Trump racism factoid, and some of them I thought were pretty freaking damning.
Okay.
So in 1989 on NBC, Trump said, and this isn't really damning.
1989?
Yeah, it's not. It's hardly relevant to today. I mean, I guess as relevant as any other tweet, like James Gunn getting kicked off Guardians of the Galaxy for some tweets from 5 or 6 years ago.
Right.
But he says this in 89.
Okay.
I think sometimes a black may think they don't have an advantage or this or that. I've said on one occasion, even about myself, if I were starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black because I really do believe they have an actual advantage. That's pretty stinging from the outside to say something like that.
I don't know if that's racist.
I didn't really even understand it. Say it again.
So he's saying it like
that's common for.
He's
Well,
bitching.
I
He's saying,
have.
I don't know why black people are bitching. They have an advantage. It's obvious. And I'm paraphrasing what he said here, kind of putting it in an almost negative light. But let me reread the quote exactly. I think sometimes a black, he says, a black may think they don't have an advantage or this and that. I've said on one occasion, even about myself, if I were starting off today, I would love to be a well-educated black because I really believe they do have an actual advantage.
Well, I may put my foot in it, but I'll just give you an anecdote as far as I went. When I was in college and I graduated in 1985,
Sure.
And a friend of mine was this black woman, and I know what grade she had, and I know what MCAT score she had, and I was better on both, and she got accepted to a medical school that there was no way I was going to get accepted to,
Really?
purely because she was a black woman. I mean, that's, I think in certain ways it was an advantage. That's just, like I said, anecdotal evidence. I'm sure there's, that doesn't mean a damn thing, but.
Okay, how about this is a little bit more of a direct racism quote. Okay, this isn't even a quote. This is a good example then of a New York Times bullshit spin. So Trump treated black employees at his casinos differently from whites. This is an assertion by New York Times on this article, according to multiple sources. A former hotel executive said Trump criticized a black accountant. Black guys counting my money? I hate it. I think that the guy is lazy, and it's probably not his fault because laziness is a trait in blacks. Now they quote that up.
She said.
They quote that up and make it look like it's a Trump quote, but it says a former hotel said Trump criticized a black accountant, so he's quoting Trump himself, third party.
Mm-hmm. Well,
this is the kind of shit you see in all of these articles.
Well, look it up. I mean, didn't he win an award from was it NAACP or someone, United Negro College? Somebody gave him an award.
I couldn't tell you. Let's see.
African American, one of the African American organizations.
Fact check: did Trump receive Ellis Island Award in 1986?
I've never heard of that. What is the Ellis Island Award? But whatever. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Let's see.
You didn't miss much, Cash. I've been destroying both of these guys. It's typical.
Hey, stall for me here. I'm trying to.
All right. Well, I mean, so let's assume that the guy's a sexist.
Okay.
And is a racist.
Yes, he did win that award.
Okay. What is the?
80 people won that award.
What is it?
It's just the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. It's just one embody the spirit of America in their celebration of patriotism, tolerance, brotherhood, and diversity. So it's a kind of diversity award.
Yeah. Anyways,
okay.
What did you say, Armond?
They gave it to 80 people.
Suppose he's a sexist. Suppose he's a racist. Suppose what?
Well, is he only? You think he's the only president we've had that was a racist and a sexist?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That doesn't make it okay. I mean, it doesn't mean I want him representing this country.
What's the relevance there?
I'm not sure. Well, the relevance is that this is a problem that is not unique. In fact,
okay, now there's a good point there.
All these problems you're talking about Trump are not unique at all, as far as I'm concerned, with presidents.
Are they presidential, so to speak? These qualities?
Well, who's the judge of who's the
arbitrator? It's a question of taste. Me and Eric were talking about this the other day. A lot of the problems people have with Trump are not questions of legality and what he does. It's a question simply of taste.
Okay, that's true, and and you have your right not to vote for him if you find him distasteful. But I think these arguments or these assertions that he stole the election, I don't think they hold any water at all. That's all I'm saying. And as far as presidential, Lyndon B. Johnson was, he'd take meetings on the toilet, press meetings, etc.
Don't blame him.
And drive home his point by, waving his privates around and things like that.
True.
Yeah, that's presidential.
Lyndon Johnson was a maniac, though. He used to take people like he had an amphibious car. Down on his ranch in Texas, he'd take people on his ranch driving around the hills, and what he liked to do is act like his brakes were out, riding down the hill towards the lake, and just slam his car into the water and freak people out. But then it would just float.
Well, that's
What a
that's
fucking
some-
I
maniac.
know.
Well, Lyndon Johnson was
Wow.
quite a guy.
Lying
You have to
son of a
read
bitch,
about it.
Yeah, but
Johnson.
can we actually find any quotes by Trump where he does anything seriously racist? I mean, because none of these are like they're.
They would be on YouTube, wouldn't you think, if he actually said,
Right,
He's
I
been on
mean,
Donahue, Oprah, all these shows.
I don't hear the
Well, what about
slurs.
I don't think the guy's a racist.
Okay,
I,
what
honest to
about-
God, I don't think he is.
In November 2017, with a meeting with the Navajo veterans of World War II,
Mm-hmm.
he mocked Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. I mean,
That's not racist.
I mean,
He's mocking her because she's a liar. She's not.
Was
a Native
Pocahontas
American.
a liar?
No,
Well, then
Elizabeth Warren is.
all right.
She claims to
So
be
it may
Native
not-
American.
So if he's
She's
not racist, is he culturally insensitive as fuck?
He's not politically correct. Let's say that. Let's
Yeah,
just say
that's-
that.
that's
Okay.
fair.
Okay.
Well, that's another part of being a New Yorker. Now, some people find that refreshing.
Yeah,
I mean,
a fair
as
amount of.
opposed to the measured, emotionless.
And I think that's more what
cold-
Eric was talking about with the poorer people who were into it would generally go along with all this dumb shit people say.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen looking at my Facebook is generally the poorer people are like the ones, yeah, make America great again.
The poor. You think get more?
I think a
support
lot
from-
more of the poor people are like they're working class people. They want to see because Trump has promised more jobs, more economy.
Right. They
This
want-
is what they
and
care about.
delivered, by the way.
Apparently so. Apparently so.
3.9 unemployment, 4.1% GDP growth.
touting the
you
largest-
you would be delivered, but wouldn't you say that like a lot of the economic growth is just like was the same in Obama?
No,
Did
it
he just
wasn't.
carry on in
Absolutely not.
Obama
No,
era?
it was not.
Hang on, I got a quote
Absolutely
source for
not.
this, I'm
First of
pretty
all,
sure.
people employ people not because of what Obama did a year and a half ago. People employ people because they think the economy's growing and they're looking 6 months to a year ahead. That's a myth that people, you're owning a business. You're not going to do it because of something that happened in 2016. If you employ somebody, you're looking forward to increased growth. He's not a genius.
I have
well,
a-
while you're looking it up, he's not a genius. He's deregulating. He's lowering taxes. These are things that even John F. Kennedy
So,
said.
could you go into a little bit more about exactly his deregulation is? Because I read something interesting. He campaigned under the notion or the promise that for every one regulation we put in, we're going to strip 2 regulations out.
That's correct.
But it's turned out to be 22 regulations
beautiful.
dropped out per one.
Excellent.
How
I
does
wish
that
it was
help?
more.
How does that help? As a
How does
person
that help?
who is
If the
retarded
re- if
about
the-
this type of stuff.
Well, if the regulations are ridiculous, it helps a lot. How do you? You're
Well,
tying the
why would
hands of
they
business.
put-
Give me an
why-
example. I
okay,
don't
so
understand
yeah,
what
right.
I don't know. I don't have a
What-
business.
What would a regulation be that could cripple you if it wasn't good? They wouldn't put it in
Oh, you
there
think-
unless it
you
was.
think
What's
all
the red
asking
tape?
if
Yeah,
they wouldn't
no,
put
that's
it in
a
there if it was
myth.
good for the environment
baloney.
or something. No, I'm asking like what kind of regulations? I don't fucking know.
It sounds like
How
here.
about on straws? I mean, they just put a regulation in California. You go to jail if a waitress dispenses a plastic straw to you. That's a regulation.
That's stupid.
Okay.
Right.
You think all of them? You don't think all of these regulations are ridiculous? I'm not
I
saying
wouldn't
they
say
all are.
of them, but
That's true. I won't either,
You wouldn't
but-
say most. That's probably a pretty outlandish example of a regulation, though. Wouldn't most of them be in place for
Well,
sensible reasons?
Any government that can come up with that can come up with any ridiculous. Wouldn't you agree? Any ridiculous regulation.
Well, yeah, but who came up with that straw regulation?
That was actually the state. That was Jerry Brown, but the federal government does just as many.
Wow. Yeah. So
I don't know. How many 17,000 regulations Obama came up with under his?
I don't know.
That's a lot of regulations
Yeah, but don't you think
on
some
everything.
of them
Look
are
at the
needed?
European Union. Check out the video on the European
The thing
Union.
is, he didn't give a list of what regulations.
I don't know. There's thousands.
I would like
literally.
to see which ones that he revoked, so that I mean, you could judge
Well,
them.
I'm
on
sure
a
there's somewhere you
case-by-case
can go on.
basis.
You can
Yeah, I
go
mean,
on.
we had the opportunity to research all this beforehand, but the problem is, unless you have you make it your day to watch CNN all day or Fox News or one of these news orgs, which are all spun,
Yeah, which they all have in the fucking agenda.
we can't come into this with any kind of real knowledge. We're not Anderson Cooper. We're not. One of these
I
guys.
agree. That's why
That's
I'm
the
trying to
problem.
quote. I'm trying to quote things that I can see. 4.1% GDP growth, more than twice as much as Obama had in any year, or Bush for that matter. He had more than Bush. Bush, I think, hit 3% once or twice, but not often. Not out of 8 years.
I wonder how much these numbers are true, though. Hopefully they are. I don't know.
Well, you
That's
have to
that's
go
the thing.
by
They're
them.
all.
That's all you
they're
can go
all.
by.
Again, it's the argument I made before.
Wait,
This
now-
is all the television show of what's going on. You know what I mean? We don't really know what these numbers are doing. We're just
Didn't
being
you say-
fed these numbers on C-SPAN and CNN and
No, this is. But this
Didn't
is.
you guys say that New York
don't
Times
come out
was
with that.
against Trump?
what's that?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, New York Times reported that they have ran out of words to describe how good these job numbers are.
Sure.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
then.
you think
So,
they
I mean-
wanted to report that?
Well, I mean, if they've got an agenda, they could choose to not report
Well, you can
it.
look up what percentage of New York Times articles about Trump are negative.
Eh,
Look that up.
Why would they even print something positive if they're
Of course
against
not.
him?
I know. I don't think they would. I think that 9 out of 10 or more, or probably more than that.
Well,
But but we just discussed that. I mean, the media has their agenda. We know that.
Okay, what do
We
you?
have our agenda. I have an agenda. You have an agenda.
This is true.
so here's something that's kind of interesting.
neutral.
I'm reading through Snopes.com, fact checking. So there's this. I showed it to you yesterday. It's like an infographic, Eric, that shows a bunch of Trump's accomplishments through like his first 6 months or whatever.
Okay.
So one of them here, just reading through, is a budget surplus in April 2017 of $182 billion. It goes on to say that it's true there was a $182 billion surplus according to MarketWatch, yada yada yada. But they keep adding in all of these qualifiers, like it remains to be seen what effect Trump's policies will have on the budget. April's
we're gonna have
typically
a
a surplus
deficit.
month because of tax receipts.
Right, correct.
But it just seems
They
like
don't want to give him the credit.
Exactly. Even Snopes seems like it's
Yeah, but
spun.
I'm not giving him credit on that
Snopes
because he signed a budget that's going to result in a $1 trillion deficit this year. So I don't think he's a big, deficit buster. I'm not giving him credit for that.
Sure.
I think he failed on
And
that.
that's what a lot of people say too. They don't like really analyze the situation. Well,
Sure, he failed. I'm not on that.
He's going to treat America like a business. We're going to be out of debt. The whole debt's going to be gone.
Well, he's going. I hope
Wait a
he
minute.
tries, but
Wait
he's
a
not
minute.
this year.
Wait a minute.
Well, let's
But
talk
then
about
again,
his,
that's the Congress. Now, the Congress appropriates, he said, I'm not going to sign another bill, although he should have vetoed that one. But who appropriates, who spends? The House of Representatives. That's not Trump. That's my complaint. And if you want to hear my rant, and
Let's hear it.
I don't know, some people do.
I do.
Well, the goddamn president has too much power. I don't care who he is.
Oh, I agree with you there.
totally.
The founding fathers would roll over in their graves if they knew how much power a guy like Trump or Obama
Or
or
any
Clinton
of 'em.
Bush, yeah.
has.
I was
They just snap their
again,
fingers.
Eric and I were
Tariffs.
talking about this yesterday. With Congress, as they ideally should be, as the representatives of the people,
Sure.
should start slowly bringing all this power back to Congress, away from the president.
They-
There's just
they
it makes
don't-
no sense to have one guy sitting on top of this
Right.
fucking thing like the elected king.
They call him the imperial president. They're
Yeah,
all, they're
I mean,
all
it's
imperial
fair.
president. Like these tariffs everybody's complaining about.
Right.
He has no right to impose tariffs, although he'll say it's a national emergency, in which case he can do it, or a War Powers Act. Well, we're technically at war. He can do it. Right?
See, this is horse shit, though.
Or national security. You can always say that. It's for national security. Well, hell, he can do anything he wants.
Yeah.
And I'm not for that. I don't care who it is. The president should not
agree
have
either.
that kind of power.
Well, at
That's
least we're in
Congress.
agreement on that, man.
Yeah, but what do we do about it? That's a big problem.
Do we go up there and just tell him, hey, man?
Well, Eric and I came to the conclusion there's
give
not a
him a
goddamn
outright.
thing we can do
Right.
about it.
Well,
It's
we had that show.
short of revolution, and none of us here, I hope, advocate that.
Yeah, no, we're not. I'm
I
not
don't got
ready.
time for
All right, do
revolution.
you want a full on? Yeah, no shit. I don't got time for a revolution. You
I
want
like
a full-on
making money and
revolution,
paying my
all right?
bills.
Well, I mean,
And that's what he
we
said.
may lose some listeners on this, but I say break up the country. I mean, it's
Yeah.
so,
Hold
if it's
on.
so polarized, you break it up into 4 different countries.
And then go to war.
No, not to war.
Come
Just, well, you do
on.
like the Euro. The Eurozone's the same. How many countries are in the Euro? 27, 28? They have the same. They have kind of a military together, NATO or whatever. They have the same currency, but they have their own countries. That's all.
What country would we be in?
Well, we'd be in the Midwest. There would be like
The United
be the-
States of the Midwest.
whatever Confederate states in the Midwest. Well, I don't want to use that. That might be.
That's tainted.
Yeah, that's Northeast, the South. Well, I mean, when you
Oh,
think about
ho,
it.
the South wouldn't be allowed to do
Woo,
anything.
the
They've
South
already
will not
lost.
rise
They've
again,
lost
Armond.
Armond.
All right.
Fucking with you.
Yes, but I don't see a big problem with that in this day and age. You know what I mean? If we're that polarized, California wants to secede. A lot of people in California want to secede.
Well, they have like what?
It's their right.
4th or 5th largest fucking economy on the planet.
Well, those are the kinds of
I'm sure
arguments
that's
that
way
were
off,
made by
but-
the South. Yeah, pretty close 6th, I think.
Yeah.
But they claim that we have our own economy. We have basically our own form of government we could use. We didn't vote for this president, which is these are the same things that South Carolina and the South said about Lincoln.
Right.
We didn't vote for this guy. We can live on we don't need his taxes. We don't need his tariffs, etc.
Right.
That's basically what what the South was pissed about. Tariffs.
Well, Trump
All
looks
things.
like he's going for
Well,
it.
Here's another thing to kind of swerve the convo here. All the I'm not going to say anti-gay stuff that's coming out of Trump, but how he's kind of rolling back a lot of like the LGBTQ rights and privileges. Like, for instance, he tried to reinstate a ban on trans people joining and openly serving in the military.
Right. What's the point
Okay.
in that?
What do you mean? What's the point in that?
Because no, I'm
Like,
saying
why would he do that? Exactly my point.
I know why he did that. He said why he did that. He said because he didn't want the military to have to be responsible and paying for those operations.
And the generals, I think he discussed that with the Joint Chiefs, and they came to the conclusion that it's I mean, the problem with that, and Tony and I discussed that on our show.
Sure.
Do you know how many hours of training these people, if you're gonna let the transgenders in, not only them but the other people in the military have to take all these sensitivity classes.
Oh, it just costs a shit ton of money. I bet.
Yeah, like 72 hours of this stuff when they should be training to kill people. That's the problem with that, in my opinion.
Jeez Louise, Papa Cheese.
I'm trying to find a little bit of research here. I've heard a lot about that. There's anti-gay marriage stuff going on now too, but I can't see anything that makes it look like that's ever going to be overturned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Trump could say with a snap of his fingers, we don't allow gay marriage, he's way out of his league. That's not the president's prerogative to do that. That's not in his purview.
I would hope not. It's civil liberties, and that should never be touched.
And that's the judiciary.
Let's switch it up for a sec. He withdrew the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
I think that was a good move.
Okay, because he said, wasn't that what he said? It was the worst deal in the history of trade deals.
Well, there again, I don't want to insult Bob. I think that's our New York listener, but that's a hyperbolic statement probably. But I think it was a bad deal. So did Hillary, by the way.
Yeah. I don't like her either, but anyways, go ahead. Well, yeah, but no. So what was so bad about? Because do you know?
Well, apparently it didn't address the problems that we have with China, which are they can reduce their the yuan. Basically, what they can do is they can lower yuan, yuan, their currency. They manipulate currency. That's why we have a trade deficit with them. They can steal intellectual property.
Yeah, that's some bullshit there. I hate that.
Well, that's
especially with software. They just take
none
it,
of that's addressed by PTT. So
worst deal in the history of trade deals, then maybe.
Well, except for NAFTA, according to, I think he didn't like that either.
Okay.
But that's one thing I do. That's one thing I would defer to Trump on. I mean, this guy's a deal maker.
By the way,
what's that?
That next one, I wasn't for sure what that.
The adoption code word? I have no clue either. Yeah. Skip that.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes our notes are a little too cryptic even for us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the whole point right there too. These quote deals. I mean, like the Iran deal.
Right.
Okay. They kind of
the Iran nuclear
morph
deal
that into
whatever.
a treaty, which is here again. It's not a treaty. It's a deal. So how can you do that? Well, Congress doesn't have to, because Congress has to. I think it's 2/3 has to approve a treaty.
They don't have to adhere to a deal.
Right.
They don't have anything to do with it.
Exactly, because the previous president.
Wow.
Overstepped his bounds.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, we were talking about that. Congress should be. These people are arrogating powers that are for Congress.
Right.
And that's why they're what we would call evanescent. You make your deal, but the next president may change the deal because it really didn't get. If it was a treaty that was approved by Congress, he can't just snap his fingers and get us out of that.
Change it, right?
Absolutely not. Congress has to do that.
Which is a good thing in my opinion.
Sure, of course. That's why we didn't join the League of Nations. We didn't sign the Versailles Treaty. Congress didn't approve.
Well, they were like, "Fuck you."
Wilson didn't just say, "Well, we're in the League of Nations because I say so."
Right. He couldn't. He didn't.
Absolutely not. They voted him down. He had a heart attack and almost died.
What do you think about him with the grabber by the pussy? I know you said it doesn't have anything to do with him politically, and I know you, Armand, as a pervert.
Yes, I don't know.
As a pervert, that is
unfounded.
That's being generous.
He resembles that.
A pervert. Well, there again, your definition of pervert may be. I don't know.
You say potato, I say pervert.
But but everybody knew that going in. I mean, they voted for the guy,
and
like Bill Clinton. I don't have any problem with his quote perversions. The guy won. I don't think he should have been impeached.
That's
we knew.
There's a little bit behind closed door, like difference between the behind closed door shenanigans. And I guess you could say the same thing about what he said with the guy from E.T. or whatever it was, the whole grabber by the pussy thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was done in confidence behind closed doors. But again, it stings. It's like all that race,
but this right here, I think means the least to me.
Sure,
grab her by the pussy.
Sexism means less to you than racism. I get that.
And
but it's still a big deal.
And I'm not saying
you
that
can't
either
just
so much. I'm just saying this for whatever reason.
The average guy might say that stuff.
Well, wouldn't you think the point he's making is, look, I'm a TV star and I'm a billionaire. I can get any woman I want. I can literally grab her by the pussy and I get away with it because
as a figure of speech, I think he was literally saying.
It was literally, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he said. But
I walk up, I grab him by the pussy.
He could. That's what he's saying. Now, I don't know if that's true or whether it's right or not, but I
do
think
you
that's the point he's making.
But that's the question, or the problem most people have with him, too, is do you want a man who thinks like that in his head, that I am in such a position of power that one of the things that I think is totally cool And a great thing is I can walk up to a woman.
That's a perk.
You don't think Clinton had that
That's
notion?
not my point. And
no,
if he
just
does have that
because he
notion,
did it
in
doesn't
my
mean it was
opinion,
okay.
Exactly my point.
I didn't say that, but does that mean that he can't be president? Because then I think you're saying Clinton shouldn't have been president
to
either.
me, it
we know
doesn't
about his
super affect
foibles.
me.
Me
I think
either.
it's
Me
shitty.
either.
It means he's kind of a less of a good person to me if you think that way.
Well, what great man do you think was a good person? I want to know that because
I don't know.
I specialize
I don't
in
know
reading
any good people
biographies.
for the
I haven't
most
met
part.
many.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill is not what I call a good person. George Patton wasn't a
Fair
good
enough,
person.
but when has it ever
Andrew
been so
Jackson.
in your face?
Because now we have the media that are recording everything you say.
Fair enough.
I mean, Andrew Jackson, you said the wrong thing to him. He'd shoot you. He did. He killed a guy for what he thought was a slight. Things like that.
Well,
I mean,
you
these
do what you
guys
gotta
these
do.
are not great
Psychopath.
people.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I just.
Lyndon Johnson, I told you what the guy did. He's taking.
I'm not saying
he's
that
sitting on the toilet.
a president has to be beyond reproach. You know what I mean? They can't be
God
a saint.
knows.
They can't be perfect. You can't be.
I would say a saint would be a lousy president. I'll go
All
even
I'm
further.
saying is after
agree,
the
you gotta have
class act
backbone,
that
but-
we had, whether regardless of if you like Obama or not, he was a smooth talking. He was very
fine.
fucking articulate.
I don't think that makes him a good president.
It doesn't matter. I'm saying he acted
He's much more.
presidential.
Fine, if that's your definition of presidential. I think he was a weakling.
Do you do you think that grabbing a woman by the pussy is your definition of presidential? Okay,
No.
okay. So I'm not saying
That
it doesn't mean he can't be president.
Right.
But I'm saying most people expect out of their president the type of
I can go down the line on things that are not presidential. If you want to talk about Kennedy,
I do.
Lyndon Johnson, Franklin Roosevelt,
do.
You got time?
I do.
Sure.
I got all the time.
What do you want to talk about? Kennedy and his
was a
nads in his
womanizer.
swimming pool that he had.
Yeah, he was fucking Marilyn Monroe. That didn't really, in my opinion,
No,
that
but he had
never
two-
makes me think
listen,
bad about
he
him
had
as a
two
president.
girls in the presidential swimming pool, making them blow Secret Service guys.
Again, but do you
come
think?
on.
How do you think the nation
Nobody
would have
knew
reacted?
that.
How do you think the nation would have reacted if there would have been?
It would have been outrage in 1961. Are you
if
kidding?
somebody would have come out, it would have said,
Nobody knew. It was
"Grandma, you can rock it up to a woman and grab her by the pussy."
grab her by the pussy.
I do a horrible Kennedy. God,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
God
bad.
only knows what he did say, though. We don't know that because there was a gentleman's agreement with the press that they're not going to report on all of these these midnight runs he had to Maryland or Judith Campbell Exner or Angie Dickinson, all these,
Right.
and the two women, like I said, that he had at the swimming pool. I mean,
Okay, is
come
there
on.
is there a difference
It's
between a
different
man who
time.
is who is obviously loves women? Like, I would say Kennedy, in my opinion, probably was more of a lover of women than a fucking user of women. From the way Trump makes it,
Not according
the
to
way-
some of the women that said they
maybe not.
raped them.
I'm just going by what I know of as
Did you
the
just
historical.
call Kennedy a rapist?
No,
I just
not
wanna-
Kennedy, Clinton.
Oh, no, Clinton. Yeah, well, right, yeah. But I'm just saying. I thought
Eric's like, yeah,
Okay,
Clinton,
so you
rapist.
agree with that? So that's presidential, I guess.
Thought you were
Not
talking-
even
no,
a little.
No, fuck no. But
That's
I
what
like
I'm
Bill
saying.
Clinton.
I don't find honestly.
I don't have a problem with Bill Clinton either. I think he was an okay president. I think he was better than Bush and better than Obama.
I'll go out on a limb and say I think it was pretty shitty what Clinton did, getting a blowjob from a woman who wasn't his wife in the Oval Office as
I
president.
think
That's
it was
pretty
too.
shitty.
I think it was stupid. I think it's very dumb.
That's very dumb.
You start wondering. I mean, the guy's supposed to be brilliant. That's
For-
not a real smart thing to do.
And if you could sit back and say, "Yeah, I got him a BJ, got him a Hummer from Monica Lewinsky," I mean, that's the exact type of problem in reverse of what people who support Trump right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the exact same. Whenever you glorify one man for getting a blowjob from
well,
for
I don't think
a
anybody
woman-
glorified him ever, but they said it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
He's doing
my
a good
point.
job.
Some
and
people
that's all I'm
glorified it.
saying.
Some people do glorify it. Some people are proud that Clinton was able to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
here-
and
here
a
you
lot
go.
of those are the
God.
same people who'd be pissed that Trump did the same thing or said
Get
something
this.
like
So
that.
Trump was just in Granite City, what, last week?
Yeah, a week or so.
Okay, so there's a video that was floating around Facebook when he drove through Granite City. There was a little kid that was flipping him off, flipping the motorcade
That's just
off.
ridiculous. Man.
Right. Well, okay, so look, this
Sorry,
kid
man.
was maybe 8 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so now somebody posted this and said, I'd have kicked the little bastard into traffic. So, like, all of these Trump supporters to the tune of 15, 20, 30 comments were all like, yeah, beat his ass, throw him out in traffic. I bet they want a cop, and I bet they need help then, you know what I mean? So I commented on there. It is fucking a little surprising to me how many people are willing to kick a kid into oncoming traffic because
Do
he's
you think
flipping
they
off the
really
motorcade.
meant that?
Now, hang
I
on.
don't
Now, hang on. I was just
Some
like,
of 'em.
yeah, this is the thing, and that's what I was like. what would you really accomplish from that? What the fuck is wrong with you people? The worst part about it is that the kid's not. It's not that he's flipping off the president or the cops. That's not the worst part. The worst part about it is he's 8 to 10 years old.
I blame
and
the
he's
parents.
never had,
Exactly.
Here it is.
parents.
He's never had the life opportunity and like the life experiences to know fuck that president or fuck the police. It's brainwashing by the parents.
It's the same reason I like Hulk Hogan as a kid, because my parents liked Hulk. You know what I'm saying? You have the idols that your parents have. You
Yeah.
make the same arguments that your parents have. You wear this. You are a little version of your parents for the most part at that age.
Right, but what it brings me to my next point is that Trump brings out the worst in people, I feel like, because you have people on Facebook literally saying that they will kick a little kid into the fucking street.
Because he says the same thing, and it's that lowest common denominator. Whenever you have that kind of behavior, you can't just come out and be like that.
Here's the problem. I mean, I think this addresses your question about polarization. Trump, not only because he is such a larger than life figure, let's be honest about it, but he's addressing some very tough problems. I mean, he's going after, immigration. That's something that's a very polarizing issue. I mean, these treaties, etc. These things that the regulation, everybody, he backed out of the Paris Treaty, on climate change.
Climate Accords
Thank
or
God.
whatever.
But a lot of people, they would want to put me in jail for saying that,
Really?
that global warming's a bunch of bullshit hoax. Well, everybody listens to this show knows my opinion anyway.
Right.
But some people say I should be in jail for not believing this garbage. Okay.
Well, those people can go fuck themselves.
Well, them I'll push in traffic myself.
Jesus,
No,
Armond.
I mean, it's kidding. That's not what I'm saying, but I'll beat their ass if they
Right,
want.
if
they
that's
want
what
to
you got to do.
Sure. But that's what I'm saying. But you see these people fighting all the time. Which,
Yeah.
in Hollywood, the guy was at the Trump star on the
They beat it with a hammer or whatever.
They were fighting. They started. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I mean, but he's taking on some very tough issues. Like I said, the immigration.
Anything controversial is going to create
Absolutely.
two sides. You know what I mean? There's two. If it's
two
controversial,
fervent
it's,
sides. How about
this one?
it's for that for a reason.
How about the
It's when he
Keystone
pokes
Pipeline?
the nerve.
So before Trump was even elected, the Keystone Pipeline was a huge hot button topic in America.
Yeah,
They wanted to run that pipeline.
through the Indian
well,
reservation.
Not even
Anwar
through there,
drilling.
close to where their water supply was the problem was, right, Armand? And they were afraid that in the future that this pipeline might eventually burst.
burst into
I thought
their
the
water.
problem was they're worried about leaks and
Yeah,
all
it
the
burst
way
into
around.
their water supply. It was right by where they got their water for the whole reservation.
Right, but as soon as Trump comes
That's not
on,
the Keystone Pipeline. You're talking about the. Yeah, that's right. You're right. The Keystone. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's Keystone,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the Anwar, the Alaskan pipeline, which has already been built, of course. Yeah,
But that's
but
one of
the
those.
State Department did several, 4 studies on it that said the thing was going to be safe.
Sure, but
But you can't convince anybody.
just because
that's one of the regulations
But
I'm
is it
talking
their
about.
right though to say that you shouldn't have this? Like whether you say it's safe or not, if I am uncomfortable with it as my property or whatever.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Everett. I think they wanted to go around that property. They still didn't want to do it. That was the problem. They
then
said,
I
okay,
agree.
we won't
If
go
they-
through your
if
land.
If they don't go through your land, then
Correct.
But what if though it threatens their groundwater supply from the next land over?
Yeah, but there's been no substantial proof of that. Like I'm saying, and that goes for fracking and hydro. That's they say it's in these artesian wells, etc., from the fracking and horizontal
Right.
drilling. That has not been proven whatsoever, even by our own, even our Department of Interior. There's no
Hasn't
proof
proven
of that
what?
whatsoever.
Hasn't proven what?
Well, you know what they do? They go in there and
I
they
know
hit
fracking
boiling.
is.
Right.
So when
with
does it take
chemical,
proof
that
if
some of that seeps into the water supply
Those
underwater?
people are lighting their water on fire from that. Like they
I haven't
say.
seen that. Where's
Not
that?
from
It's
that.
like YouTube,
From that?
man. From
Well,
the
not from
fracking.
that.
Yeah, that's from being polluted, like Lake Erie. Remember?
Well, there's methane
remember?
in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember they set it on fire because the lake caught fire right near Cleveland. Yeah, that's different.
You ever seen the ones where they'll go out on the lake and it'll be a frozen lake and they'll pop a little hole in it where there's a bubble, like there's the air bubble under there,
It's methane.
and they'll just light it on fire and it sprays fire out of the hole.
No, I have not.
Check it out, it's pretty
Methane
cool.
seepage.
That neat.
Well, that's what
Decomposing
swamp
plants
gas
under,
is.
yeah.
When you drive to work or whatever in the morning and there's that fog over a little creek or a pond,
Yeah.
that's methane. Swamp gas.
What do you know?
So
are
Chris in the chat says that I'm paraphrasing it. Trump's fixing the
think Marissa
economy so
loves
it's
me
working,
anymore.
and nobody loves you. I love you. I'm the only one.
Thanks.
He says it's fixing the economy. Again, that's how can you be sure?
Well, that's the only.
What?
Well, like I just said, 4.1% GDP. When's the last time we had 4% GDP growth? I can't remember. 13 years?
Nobody knows.
13
Nobody
years?
knows.
What do you
We
mean
just get
nobody
these
knows?
numbers. My point
you
is,
making
as
this
This
a-
is
shit
the
up,
government.
Armand?
I mean, what do you think they just make this up?
yeah.
I
I mean, no,
can't
they'll
help
do
that.
the math. The math is there, but what about their source numbers? I mean, we can't be for sure of any of this shit.
Right, if
My
you're
point
ready
is
to call
it's-
out major news corporations, you got to
This
be ready
isn't
to
the
call
news,
out
this is
number
the government.
crunchers.
The
That's what I'm
government report.
saying.
Ask-
You trust them?
Depends on what thing we're talking about here. Does it make Trump look good, or does it make my political?
Exactly.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not. I know. I'm not.
I think they're using the same parameters
saying
they use for Obama too,
for
and
both
for Clinton,
sides.
and for Bush. That's all. At least whether
Buffalo Springfield.
I think it's consistent.
Said it perfectly in the song "For What It's Worth." You know that song, "Stop, Hey, What's That Sound?"
Mm-hmm.
There's a line in it that says, "Everybody carrying signs that mostly say hooray for our side." That's the way it is right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's backs up my side, my
I don't
team
think
is right.
so.
Yeah, dude.
Not with
there's-
government
it's-
figures. I mean,
not-
Department of Labor comes out with the unemployment statistic. They use the same parameters every time.
I don't mean that.
Now, you can't just say, I don't
mean
believe it.
as Chris, as a person on the internet, as an example, it doesn't matter for the average person. We have no fucking clue what these numbers mean. I have no way to say that 4.1 is better than 4.0.
You don't have to. If the stock market's going up, believe me, it's good news. The stock market will tell you because these are businessmen that do know what it means. And if Trump was fucking up, believe me, the stock market wouldn't be at 25,000.
Okay, now we're talking about the religion of what they say the stock market does. It's taking the word of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What are you
you're
gonna take
taking
the word of?
You're taking the word of someone that knows.
Well, we've talked about this with global warming and science too. Who do you believe? Do you believe the scientists?
That's exactly my
Well,
point.
I'm
Who
just
do you
saying- well-
believe? Because everybody's got a spin on it. My whole point today is everything is spun, man. You
And
can't
here's
believe
my point.
anything.
Okay, when you can't believe anything, what do you have to use? You have to use your common sense. And I'm
Then
telling
you start
if
going, you got
reduce,
people like Trump saying,
if you
"Believe
reduce
what I
tax,
say."
No, but if you reduce taxes and you take away 22 regulations for every one you put in, business people love that. Business is going to get better, and they're going to hire more people. That's common sense to me.
But
I mean, anybody who's taken any economics knows
I mean,
that.
it
Now,
That
could.
makes
some
sense.
people-
That
now,
makes
some
sense.
people may
Whenever you
say
take
that's,
when you make it easier
that's
to
not
do
necessarily
business,
good.
it's going to make business more profitable.
Sure.
But at what cost? How many of these regulations had some other really good thing attached to them? That
Well,
got
you're going to have to
knocked out?
believe me arbitrarily, but I'm going to say 90% of them are nonsense bullshit.
And that your point you make right there is the exact reason I checked out of politics.
Okay.
Because I have to
Fine.
just take people's word for it all
Look
fucking day
no,
long.
I'm saying look it up.
Yeah, it's
Well,
so much work.
Well,
It's so much work.
Well,
and even then, you know how long
then
it would
what
take
can
for
I
me to
tell
just,
you?
by the time I've got my head wrapped around the bullshit, it's changed. I don't have the time or the energy is my problem. And I think all these people out there bitching haven't spent the time
do you
and the
just
energy
think?
for the
Do you
most
think
part.
intuitively the government is too powerful?
Yes.
Do you? Intuitively.
Yes.
I would say yes.
I'll answer
Okay.
for him.
Or at
yes.
least they tried it. They
Why-
try to
okay.
put themselves into our
Okay,
our
now who
everyday
makes
lives
these
so much.
regulations? They don't go through Congress. You know that, right? Just OSHA bureaucrats, right?
Yeah.
You think that's people we don't even elect are making all these regulations that have serious implications on our economy and our lives? That they call that the fourth branch of the government for a reason.
Yeah.
These people are they're unelected bureaucrats. The EPA,
I'm with you there then. I kind of.
Department of Interior, Labor.
Yeah.
These guys, nobody elected
What's
them.
the system of checks and balances on the type of shit?
There is
there
none.
one?
That's the problem.
So the EPA just gets it in their head. It says this is going to be the new regulation.
Yeah.
Right.
And how does that become
Well, like they said,
regulation? How does it go from them saying this should be regulation?
It's a law.
Because the
It's a
government
law.
trusts their procedures.
So
and
so the
everything,
EPA
they're
writes something up.
Absolutely.
They
And-
write
and-
up a
and-
law to
right.
present it to Congress, and Congress.
No, absolutely not.
So as soon as they write it up,
It's
it's
a law. It's a regulation. Correct.
So the
And
EPA
you'll go to
can
jail.
against
skip.
EPA
They
regulations.
can skip anything else
Sure.
and go right to. Wow.
That's what I'm bitching about.
That's pretty much
That's what
bullshit.
Armand's bitching
Talk
about.
about arbitrary
I have a-
power.
Talk
I have a
about
lot of trouble
arbitrary
believing
power.
it.
Well, I am. I don't like Trump's
is.
arbitrary power either. I'm just saying. But bureaucrats are even worse. At least he somewhat got elected. 63 million people voted for him. Nobody voted for anybody in the EPA.
Okay.
They all of a sudden.
I'm with you there,
remember
dude.
they just said, listen, all of a sudden, all these little waterways. If you got a pond on your property, we can regulate that because that's like a lake. That's a river or lake.
Right.
It's not like
Mm-mm,
Lake
not
Erie.
my property.
Well, you can.
Step off.
You ain't taking my gun.
That's where I'm with you too,
Armand.
and maybe that's
Well,
where I'm at a
coming.
conservative. It's my property. You keep your fucking hands off of it.
Right.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I still think that liberally that I should be able to fucking speedball if I want. Give me some heroin and cocaine.
Absolutely.
If
with
that's
that too.
my own
It's your
stupid
body.
choice.
It's your body.
So, here, switching gears a little bit, what do you guys think about his decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital?
See, again, that's where I'm as a standard
don't
dumbass.
give a
I don't
fuck.
understand the implication. No, yes. But because I don't understand the implications of what it means to recognize Israel or Jerusalem
Because of
as the capital.
the war that's going on between the Palestinians and Israelis.
So I don't understand our political ties over there. We're allies with Israel, right?
course.
Yes.
Not Palestine.
Not Palestine.
Well, the
So
Israelis.
what's the big deal with us saying that we recognize the capital of one of our allies?
Well, it is their capital. That's what they say is the capital, but they don't want to offend the Muslims because I think the contention here, or the bone of contention, is that Jerusalem is theoretically also a Muslim city, and they
Sure,
don't
from
want
the
to
Crusades and
recognize
way
it
back when, yeah.
as and it is technically. I mean, you have the three. It's like holy
So-
city for
so as
three
soon as
different
we said,
religions.
This is now the capital of the Christian or
offended
Jewish.
the offended
Jewish,
the Palestinians.
right.
Yeah.
The
And the
Israeli
Palestinians
state.
who
Well, they've been
in
fighting
their
for
history
that. You know what I mean?
also think of it as a holy city in their religion.
Sure, Christians do too. Christians, Muslims, and Jews all consider. But
So
it'd be a
what he's
slap in
doing
the
is-
face of the Palestinians
Is
to
he
move it there.
Is stepping in to make where he shouldn't have, basically sticking
Well,
his nose
but
in,
but if
Yeah,
you look,
but-
or where we shouldn't officially have done it.
Obama said the same thing. Bush and Clinton also said the thing.
So
they never did it.
Does
Trump did it.
Is Trump officially recognizing it for America, or is it Trump just saying
He
it?
put the
America.
embassy there. He put the embassy.
Okay, so
there.
then
He
it's
moved
completely
the
different.
embassy.
All right, well.
You can say anything you want, but when you move the embassy now, and that's what I'm talking about, these issues that are very polarizing. I mean, you
That's
look
what
on
I'm saying,
YouTube.
they're
Obama
controversial.
said the same thing, so did Clinton, so did Bush, but they didn't do anything about it. He's
Right.
doing it. That pisses some people off.
So here, I move on to a couple things that he did that was good. So he
Uh-oh.
got NATO allies to kick in $12 billion more toward all of our collective
Well,
security.
I think you guys know how I feel about NATO. I think he was right during the campaign. He said, "Let's get out of NATO. It's worthless." I agree with that.
Okay.
What do you think about NATO?
Again,
What's it do? What's it do?
I don't know.
Nothing.
I know
Nothing.
they we go there. They help with all the we got to go get into Afghanistan or something.
Right.
NATO sends their troops, which I'm not quite sure
Where NATO gets their troops from.
why. What is the difference between NATO troops and American troops? You know, do we conscript our troops into NATO? See, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
All it does
if
is
we're
get us
doing it, why
involved in
bother
more
have?
wars, more bullshit?
Well, why have a
Stay
middleman?
out of- Well, NATO was formed to
It's the North
counter
Atlantic Treaty Organization, right?
to counter the threat, which is also spurious, from Russia, who theoretically, Truman told us wanted to take over the world. Nonsense.
Right.
But okay, it was supposed to defend Europe. Well, there's no more USSR anymore. The Russians aren't taking over anything. We know that.
Right.
What the hell are we doing in NATO? It's crazy. Break it up.
So to what extent was?
You got
did
me,
he
I
play
vote.
a
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what he said, but he's not doing it. So that's one promise he's not fulfilling.
No?
I wish he had gotten us out of NATO.
Well, what extent do you think Trump actually played in the part of getting North and South Korea to talk? Do you think he was, a very vital
Yeah, I think
piece
so.
of that equation there?
I think his rhetoric was, here again, artless, and a lot of people say non-presidential, but he called the little guy, whatever, Rocket Man or whatever, and made a joke out of him, and I think it sobered the guy up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way, so it's good that they're talking. He's opened up the
I think
line
so.
of communications between them. So.
But he also said, and
Okay
I
with
agree,
that.
it's not like all of a sudden North Korea is going to totally abandon nukes and they're going to be our friends, but I think it started the process.
Yeah, no, he got the lines of communication open.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So that's
that's a good
good.
thing.
Yeah. So let's talk more different things that he's done that have been in the news. He ended the separating families at the border who came here illegally. Remember, everyone was so up in arms on social media and the news about the people that would come here illegally and they would separate the families. I, for one, was against it. Agreed. But he actually ended that, signed an executive order or something to end that policy.
Probably did something he had no power to do, but but I don't.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, I think that was something that's a holdover from previous
It was.
administrations.
It totally
too. That's
was.
Nothing
It totally
new.
was, and they gave him a lot of bad
Right.
shit for that.
lot of
and it
bad
was
press,
not.
right.
No, I think it was probably honestly. Here's a little conspiracy talking, but like people going, "Hey, let's separate the kids at the border." People
Sure.
will automatically think Trump's the one that did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll
The
see.
pictures they showed from 2014, I believe.
There you go. Well, they'll automatically think Trump was to blame for
course.
separating kids at the border. You know what I mean? Make him look bad. That's a little conspiracy there, but he did end up ending it, which he didn't start it. So, what else is there? So CNBC survey said that 51% of Americans approve of his handling of the economy.
That's right. I just saw that poll too. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good.
Which doesn't necessarily mean shit. 'Cause
No.
That's the plus or
99%
minus
of
there.
Americans don't know the first thing about economics.
That's
so
my
it's
point
true.
too, man. Nobody
Right,
knows
sure.
shit. We're just taking the words for it of the quote unquote smarter people who are in charge.
I also
But
wanna
I think the
mention-
answer to that is
That's
to
life.
educate yourself. That's all. I mean, to say it takes too
Is
much
it?
work is kind of a cop out.
Is it? I'd say, I think you're right. It is a cop out, but not if you own it, and are quite upfront with yeah, I know that's going to take a lot of work to know about it, so I'm just going to shut my fucking mouth,
Well, I
keep
don't
my
think it
fucking
takes-
head down,
I
and
don't
be a good
think it
American,
takes
pay my
that
taxes.
much work. I mean, it's not like I devote.
The
So,
thing is,
know,
if you don't,
I don't
if you
have-
don't
I'm
devote
on Plenty
the
of
time,
Fish more than I read.
Hey, listen, if you don't devote the time to studying and learning about economics, then you automatically
And
give up
politics,
your
every
right
side
to
of it.
not believe what the experts say.
Well,
So
that's again-
you're in fact though saying I believe what the experts say because I don't have time and don't want to fucking learn and figure
I'm
out.
not saying I
who-
believe it,
who's
but I'm
the
saying I don't
expert?
really have
We
the
don't know.
right.
You don't have a choice.
But even the experts have. I mean, even the experts have their opinion, and some could be wrong. And some, I mean, believe me, you could go to two different podiatrists, for instance, and they're
Right.
both quote experts, and they'll tell you something totally different about your own foot.
You can never tell who's full of shit.
Well,
Is the
sometimes
problem.
people are just wrong too. You know.
That's true.
But the
you
problem
could
with
be
this
the
is-
most competent person in the world, and today you're full of shit.
Yeah,
It
I
just
mean,
happens.
well, when I think it was Frederick Hayek won the Nobel Prize in economics,
Right.
he said he didn't want it. He thought it was bullshit that there was even a prize in economics because it's not like physics. Because physics, you have you win the prize because you've got something that says, okay, I have X-rays. I discovered X-rays. Here's how they work, and everybody knows this is how it works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He said economics isn't like that. Because my opinion of economics and yours could be totally
he
different.
comes out and says, economics is a mystery. I need the
Well-
Nobel Prize. Oh, like, holy fuck, you're right. It is a mystery.
Sure. Well, it's a dismal science. It's not really a science. It's more of a philosophy. And he also said that, as opposed to physicists and chemists and biologists, etc., we're influencing politicians. And I don't care if I'm a Nobel Prize. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm any better than anybody else.
Right.
And my influence should not be more than somebody else's. And this is the guy that won the Nobel Prize.
Right.
He poo-pooed the whole thing.
Poo-pooed it.
Poo-pooed.
Now, as Armand said earlier,
Disdained.
he's not on Twitter.
No.
But if you are out there and you have a Twitter, Donald Trump's Twitter is a definite follow.
Why is that? I don't
because
follow it,
there's
but-
good stuff. I mean, the guy's just outlandish and crazy.
So if you like to see crazy shit that you can't believe it came out of a human's mouth, you
Right.
should-
Well, like his acceptance, like after he accepted the inauguration, he went on Twitter and said that he was honored to accept this inauguration as the 45th president of the United States, but he spelled honored Honered.
Well, see now.
But I'm just saying. So,
yeah,
like, if you're a
well,
hater and that's what you want to do,
That's what people latch onto is just that little inane
yeah,
shit.
See, come on now.
That's on both sides, though, man. That's my problem with this shit.
Uh,
Both of y'all is all like they misspelled honored, and
Well, I
that's the
think-
biggest deal today. Let's get some newspapers
Well, I
printed
think we
up.
better go because Bob makes a good point here. How does this fall into the cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal? I
Yeah,
guess we
you're
have to go
right,
into the
dude.
conspiracy aspect
yeah,
here.
I just,
Well, the collusion with the Russia thing.
Well,
we
that's
haven't
what
really
I thought
touched
we were
on.
going to get around to.
yeah, we're not there yet. Though.
Well,
Let's
Bob's
get there.
getting impatient.
No, let's get there.
And I
Fuck
love
it.
New Yorkers, Bob. I think they're
I
great.
forgot all about that part of it.
I think
Talking
New
about
Yorkers are
all
great.
the yeses and nos of Trump. Let's talk about the collusion.
Yeah, so like a lot of his campaign
Well,
members.
I guess is a question to that. Just addressing what you just said. Do you think he's stupid?
Do I think
mean,
Trump
that's-
is stupid?
But, well, he misspelled. I mean, the implication is the guy's not very bright.
I think he's smarter than a lot of people give him credit for.
But
I don't
anybody
think
can
he's a
misspell
fucking
stuff. I misspell
genius.
shit all the time.
I don't think he's a genius. I think he's enough money that he has some geniuses working with him, though. But I don't think he's the responsible for the.
What
the
president
genius
do you
in
think
that
was a
campaign.
genius? I want to hear this because I can't think of one.
Genius is a
Yeah,
strong word
right.
to be
Well-
thrown around. You know what I mean? I
Well,
don't.
that's
think
what I'm
he's a
saying. I can't think of
genius.
any president that was a genius.
Yeah, I don't
William
think
Henry
he was
Harrison.
a genius. William Henry.
William Henry Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't-
Zachary
I don't
Tyler,
think he was-
fight me if I'm wrong.
Zachary Taylor.
Maybe.
Maybe. It cracked me up.
No,
They
wasn't
could
there a
probably
Zachary
spell honored.
Tyler or something though?
Long story
no.
short, let's talk real quick about
John Tyler.
Russia's involvement.
John
in,
Tyler, Zachary Taylor.
Let's real quick. Let's hit this. The talk of Russia's
Yeah.
Russia hacking into the election results for the 2016 election.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Every bit of evidence from our intelligence community would have you believe that yes, in fact, Russia was completely involved. They indicted 10 military leaders over in Russia.
12, I think.
12 was it for being involved with this. Now, just recently, Trump has come out and said yes, he believes the intelligence community. But there was that meeting or that the big summit 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, in Helsinki. Yeah.
In Helsinki, where he stood right by Putin and says, "Yeah," and he says he fucked up what he was trying to say, but he says the intelligence points to Russia having something to do with it, and he says, "I don't see why they would, though." What he was quoted, like, well, I don't see why Russia would have did that, because Putin adamantly denies it. He's so adamant about it.
Right.
I don't see why they would. But when he come out the next day and says, what I meant to say is, I don't see why it wouldn't have been Russia. You know what I mean? He just didn't have the balls to say it in front of Putin.
Well, I agree. I
Right.
agree. I think that's true. I think that was, yeah.
So
I think you got to, but what here again, you talk about the guy not being a diplomat or a serious statesman. You're not going to say that to the guy right in his face, call the guy a liar. I don't know if that's really good.
That's
good
bad politics there.
Right.
But look, there's one little thing that I want to bring up, and somebody posted this on the boards today. It makes great sense. When we did our WikiLeaks episode a while back for CIA's Vault 7 leak, where it detailed the extent of the CIA's cyber terrorism abilities, and the biggest point was how they are able to change the fingerprints of their cyber attacks to make it look like attacks from another country.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. That's what some people are saying.
That's my point right there. A lot of people think that it was the CIA, or at least in part the CIA, making it look like Russia. And due to the leaks from WikiLeaks, we know that they absolutely have the ability to do that.
Okay, so you do give some credence to that theory.
Yeah, I can't give complete credence that Russia completely did it. You can't.
Whenever making it look like that.
Exactly my point. It could have been. You can't 100% tell now make me feel like that the CIA 100% couldn't have did it. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't have reason to. Maybe they did. I don't fucking know.
Right. Well, I think they did hack into somebody, man, here again, who knows who, did hack into the DNC server. We do know that. That's right. I mean, I think that's now, but do you think that what was the actual impact on the election, I guess, is what we're...
Yeah, that I can't...
Even Rosenstein said
speculation.
No votes were changed because of this. That's Rod Rosenstein, who is no Trump supporter.
Right.
So there again, I mean, you have to believe a guy, but...
Everett, can you plug that in and show Armand that 30-second clip of Anderson Cooper's, and I know Armand doesn't like Anderson Cooper, but it was a really good clip. It showed a lot about the collusion with, like a lot of his campaign.
Can we put it up so
but the thing is,
I'll
play it on
the
the deal is,
board.
though, like the shit's changed, though, now because it's Rudy Giuliani, who I didn't know that was technically Trump's lawyer.
Now he is, yeah.
Yeah, said that, so what if there's collusion? It wasn't illegal. He didn't do it, but if he did, it's not illegal.
That's what
I'm saying. The narrative's changing around.
That's what
now,
Alan Dershowitz
you know what I mean?
says, too.
The narrative's changing from there was never any collusion to there isn't, but if there was, it doesn't matter because it's not illegal.
Okay, well, how do you feel about that?
I feel
is
like
that true?
The
is either statement
changing.
true? Okay, fine.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
so were you lying in the beginning to say
tonight.
this, and then just now that when things are getting closer to catching you, if that's the case, that you're now changing what you said before, like I didn't, but if I did, it's not illegal. It's like it looks like he's setting himself up for the eventuality of the conversation that goes, I did nothing illegal. So, no.
I didn't do it, but if I did, it's not illegal.
Yeah, because it went at first from, like, there was no collusion, never, not a chance, nope, witch hunt, blah, 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 blah.
Even if they did talk.
Now his lawyer's saying, like, he didn't do it, but if he did, it's not illegal, I think it'll end up being, I didn't do anything illegal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going down the line.
Well, I don't think it's an
Do you feel like he lied there at the beginning?
I don't know, but I don't think it's an impeachable offense either way. That's all I'll say, because that's Alan Dershowitz talking. I read his book.
Okay.
And I don't particularly like that guy. He's a very liberal guy, Harvard, professor.
Right.
And he gets on the first thing he says, I voted for Hillary. I didn't vote for this guy. And then he says, but there's no, if it was collusion, that's still not a crime. And certainly not an impeachable offense. Okay. Here again, you got to go by your common sense. If you're in the Hillary campaign and somebody from Russia, or who you don't even give a shit who he's from, I got some dirt on Donald Trump. You want to hear it? Damn right I do.
For sure.
Okay. And that may have happened with Trump. I got some dirt on this woman. You want to hear it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, bring that shit on.
Hell yeah. That's all. I mean, that's common sense to me.
So did you got
I don't think
that
anybody's
video
going to, call the FBI.
So what we got here is a 2.5-minute video titled "Cooper: The Facts on Trump-Russia Ties." Let's see what these facts are here.
Well, I thought he was going to put it up on the...
No, they won't be able to see it anyway. So I'll just play the audio and we can kind of narrate what we see.
Talk about the facts tonight. The facts about this White House and those close to it and ties to Russia. We want to show you a flow chart just so
here, I'll put it on my camera. What the fuck?
Everybody can follow along because it's confusing.
Yeah.
There are the facts about former White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, a key advisor during the Trump campaign. In 2015, he sat next to Russian President Vladimir Putin at a black-tie gala for Russia's RT propaganda network, which the Kremlin paid Flynn more than $33,000 to attend. There's the fact that during the campaign, Flynn had regular contact with Russian
What are we getting at here with all this? Is this just outlining all
nationals,
the...
and during the transition, he discussed sanctions with Russia's ambassador, Sergei Kislyak, and then lied about it to the vice president and others, and the fact that it cost him his new job as national security advisor. That's a fact. Then there are the facts about President Trump's son-in-law and close advisor, Jared Kushner. Fact, in December, during the transition, Mr. Kushner met with the ambassador. He also met with a guy named Sergei Gorkov, president of Russia's state-owned bank VEB, in late 2016. Some facts about former Trump campaign.
So I'm breaking this up here so we can make sure we get on fair use because I don't want CNN coming off of it after us for this shit. So anyway, end of my little breakup period.
Campaign manager Paul Manafort. He worked.
What's that?
We're casting over it. So.
Yeah, hopefully it's fine.
For years in Ukraine for pro-Russian politician Viktor Yanukovych. Manafort also partnered with a Russian oligarch on business deals, and according to the Associated Press, he worked for Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska to benefit the Putin government. Fact, former Trump foreign policy advisor of some sort, Carter Page, worked in Russia for about 3 years, was involved in deals with state-owned gas giant Gazprom, and traveled.
All right, long story short, there's a fuck ton of people associated with Trump. We're having a fuck ton of meetings with the Russian people before the election.
Okay, fine. And I don't know what, I guess Manafort's on trial for that right now, so I don't know if that really, this stuff happened apparently before he was even in the campaign, right? Or whatever, whatever he's being tried for. Okay.
Well,
you don't think anybody in the Hillary camp had anything to do with Russia?
I hate that. That
does
not
it's the first
make
thing.
it okay. That is right. That's the first thing that the Trumpers go to.
Read the book. It's
Hillary
not
would have
right,
did it.
and I wouldn't have said to impeach her either. People want to impeach this guy. I don't care if all that stuff's true. It's not an impeachable
done. Okay, but you compare everything that he's done.
Is it a high crime and misdemeanor?
I didn't say it was, but you automatically compare everything that he's done to Hillary or someone else. It's like,
sure, of course you do.
Why?
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 Because it's politics. That's what's done all the time.
No.
But just talk about
it's not
on
illegal.
his own merit. Just about
there you
the
go.
one person.
On its own merit, it's not an impeachable offense.
There
That's
you go.
That's it.
There you go.
Okay, so bring it all out, and then, like Alan Dershowitz says, it's not a high crime and misdemeanor.
That's what. Okay. Immediately
he didn't
goes
steal
to the
the
other
election.
side.
Yeah, because this is common. This is politics. That's like the Chinese too. What do you think the Chinese? The Chinese are trying to influence our election. Isn't that the thrust of all this is God? Oh my God, the Russians are influencing our election.
Right. Yes.
Isn't that what everybody's so scared about?
Yeah. Exactly.
What do you think the Chinese are doing right now? They're imposing tariffs on Scotch, soybeans, things that are going to affect Kentucky. The central states, the red states that voted for Trump. You don't think that's influencing the election?
That's some good fucking thinking there, China.
Hell yeah, it is. Of course it is.
Really?
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I never even thought. That's some deep shit.
Right,
See, that's why I don't have any business in politics on a level. Because
they're trying to.
These motherfuckers are dirty.
Yeah, they want him to lose in the midterms.
These motherfuckers are dirty, boy.
But why? Because they know if he loses the House, he's not going to get these tariffs are going to lose a lot of bite.
How many people in the chat here, and I'm using this as a common indication of everybody in the world. I would like to think all of our people are way into the know and they know a lot of shit about what's going on. How many of them would have ever thought about what you just said about how the tariffs that China are doing are affecting the middle states, the Trump states, in an effort to hurt his chances of becoming president next time? That's some deep shit.
Mm-hmm. Sure, they're playing chess. They're not playing checkers. They're not stupid.
Right.
They know where it's going to hurt the worst.
What was I getting
Why would they tariff bourbon? I don't think that's a big export to China, but that's what they want to do.
So my point is, for everybody who has such a high opinion or has a loud opinion about Trump, pro or negative, how many people actually think about it or know enough about the situation where they can think about what China's doing in relation to Trump?
Right.
We look at this from the fucking level of what we see on the headlines. We don't know. Or at least the majority of us don't know yet. It's such a huge point of contention, a huge polarization, where it's more or less a popularity contest of I like him or I don't like him as a person. And past that, most of us can't see or know the difference to tell if he's a good president or not. I don't know. I don't like his thoughts, from what I understand, on gays and drugs, but I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know enough about the economy.
I'm not really sure what his thoughts on drugs are. I know.
Pretty much wants to leave it up to the states.
I don't agree.
On pot,
I'm fine with that. I don't agree with Sessions.
I heard they were rolling back all the
Sessions is a
again.
jack
This is the problem too.
Guy.
I heard they're rolling back all of Obama's mandates to DEA about letting states handle pot on their own. Well,
that's Sessions again. I think he's the attorney general, and I think he's got a real hard on
against. We'll headbutt that fucking
guy. I disagree. I totally
Armond,
disagree
that's
with
who
the guy.
you need to wrestle. It's Jeff Sessions.
I think I can take him.
You whip his ass?
I think so. He's a pretty old guy.
Hell yeah.
You guys get my point?
No,
I don't like
totally.
Jeff Sessions. I don't agree with him at all on that.
Is how fervent people are, how passionate people are about this. When I really think the majority of us don't fucking have enough knowledge to really have
that's
an
the problem.
informative
But
decision.
I don't know if that's new either.
That.
I mean, you go down the. I remember a cartoon. This is how old I am, from the 1976 election, and there was a woman at the ballot box, and she's talking to her husband. She says, "I don't know who to vote for. Carter's better looking, but Ford's more athletic."
Oh, great!
I mean,
yeah.
How do you think people vote in this country? You think they actually know what the hell
and
anybody stands
and they're voting
for?
for the most powerful person in the world based on the color of his fucking hair. You know what I mean? This guy was on NBC on my favorite talk show. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to vote for him. He says he likes my favorite TV show too.
I used to watch WWE. I'm going to vote for The Rock. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Shit like that.
So scary.
Well,
I don't know.
Lordy.
That's it. You guys got anything else about Trump?
Yeah, I do. I
Well,
have
I'm
one more thing I wanted to
If
at
we're
least.
about
go ahead.
the Russian collusion, how do you think it impacted the election from all the things all this.
I know they said that Russian troll farms that put out ads on Facebook and Twitter reached over 30 million Americans with pro-Trump propaganda.
I thought they had like 20,000 ads or something. It was
With
just like
pro-Trump
minuscule.
propaganda.
Or they spent like $20,000 on ads compared to $1 billion for each campaign.
I don't know
That's
what the
I
numbers
read.
are. I honestly don't know. This is the facts you get when you search
Right.
Google. You know what I mean?
Now, where'd you get that figure?
Again,
Googling somewhere, I'm sure.
The internet's.
No, it's true though. No, it's not.
here
It
we
could
go
be.
again.
Hey, you know what? Could be
Yeah.
as true as the next thing. But I
Right.
definitely did
So you think
see
it
that
did
the
have-
Russian troll farms reached more than 30 million
Well, I'm
Americans.
gonna give you-
Based,
I'm gonna give you this
based on
quick.
the
Do you
random
think-
link you click,
Had the Russians not quote interfered, would he have won?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, well, there you
Still.
go. I think
I don't know.
I mean,
I
there
would
goes
think
that
he did.
conspiracy.
I don't know that he won.
I don't think those Facebook
No.
ads
Right.
had enough. Had people to change enough people's mind.
Right, exactly.
You know
And-
what I
and
mean?
My
Like,
point
like,
being, we've talked about how polarized people are. Do you think you're going to change anybody's mind by some
especially a Facebook ad. No,
or
get
Trump
fucked. Yeah,
guy?
get fucked
Yeah,
on that.
or
I don't
somebody
think they.
that-
I don't think it did that
I
much
think it had
good.
nothing
I
to do
think
with
they
anything.
tried and they overestimated how well it would do. But I don't think it did that much good. Which I don't think it helped. Even if they did do it, I don't think it helped him.
we'll never know.
But hang on, I got a
Now-
couple more
now-
things.
Yeah,
now.
sure.
You ready for this one?
I-
He has golfed and
thirsting for
vacationed
it.
more than most presidents, costing taxpayers $110 million. 123 days of golfing, or 1/5 of his term, costing taxpayers $72 million as of July 27, 2018.
What's the source on that?
What was it?
'Cause I
We
don't
just
believe
looked
it.
at it. You don't believe it at
No.
all?
No.
Okay, well, it was...
That one I'm going to look up.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The internet's again.
Yeah, I mean...
Don't you know that's
I
our
don't
source
have it.
on this
Look
show?
at it.
Is
Look
the
at it.
internet?
I would
Look
think
at
that-
it. Look it up, though. Armond.
Okay, I sure will.
Whenever
For
we
sure.
put our little,
You're telling me he's golfing more than Obama. That's hard
Yeah,
to believe.
yeah.
Or Eisenhower, for that
Yeah.
matter. Eisenhower was always on a golf course.
Here's something that'll be hard for you to believe. The phrase is build the wall,
I'm
drain
shuffling.
the
I'm
swamp,
shuffling.
and MAGA. Can you hear me?
how about this?
Yeah, I'm
The-
sorry. Richard said something funny.
This is TrumpGolfCount.com.
Uh-oh.
Trump Golf Count 127. That's daytime visits to golf clubs since inauguration, with a cost to taxpayers of about $74 million.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, so this is, you can check this website out. I'm not saying it's true or not.
Okay.
But that's where his source is coming from.
Okay.
That's not my source. No.
That is
that's,
a
that's where you're
source.
getting this, right?
No, not at all. That website. I didn't go
Here's
to
some
that
fun
website.
stats.
It's just the same as what I have.
Days Trump has spent at Mar-a-Lago, 68. Cost of flights to Mar-a-Lago, 17 so far.
Yeah, but did he go there to play
34
golf?
billion.
That
Doesn't
doesn't
matter.
count. Well, don't. Yes, it does.
Well, I guess you were saying it's to play golf. If it's a vacation day, I
right.
don't
If he's
think it
going down there,
matters.
he's working in Mar-a-Lago, so I don't count that. That's not. That's like implying
go
that the
with
whole
it.
day he spent playing golf. If he played 9 holes, it takes an hour.
But
what does it take?
what if he worked 1 hour and used that as an excuse to get to Mar-a-Lago and play?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying.
Could
We
go
don't
either way.
know.
We don't
That's-
know. Exactly right. This is
That,
so
to
out
me-
of context and
right.
so biased to anti-Trump right off the bat.
Right.
You ready for this one?
Okay. It's
The
about Trump's
phrases.
balls.
The phrases "build the wall,"
Yeah.
"drain the swamp," and MAGA.
Right.
All made up phrases by Cambridge Analytical that tested well with the middle class Americans, so Trump ran with them.
Sure. Of course.
So he didn't come out with, see, the phrases that touched the people that were like, make America great again and build the wall and we're going to drain the swamp. Those weren't from his feeling and heart, which is what he used to
No, I think they were, but I just think-
those phrases manipulated Americans emotionally.
Well, I think that's what a political phrase is meant to do.
Exactly.
I mean,
but a
but
lot,
it's
a
supposed to be
lot of people are under the impression that he came out and we're going to drain.
What? You don't think he
this was
believes that?
No, those were his own words, but he got
that's-
those words because they tested
Yeah, but
well.
that's what a
with the-
slogan is, Eric. I mean, it's just a distilled idea because you know as well as I do, you're not going to talk, you want to talk about Friedrich Hayek or Ludwig von Mises. I'll be glad to for an hour, but I'll
All I'm saying
basically
is-
say what they say. Government sucks.
All I'm
You know,
saying
that's
is that a
that's
lot of
easier to
people
put on a
are
bumper
under the
sticker.
impression that he is that this
I'm
is,
under the impression he believes in that. I'm not
that
saying
those
he
are his
distilled.
ideas.
I don't know about that. I don't know
Okay.
who came up with them, and I'm sure they polled them all the time. Said, "Hey, that's a good one,"
He
which
gives-
everybody else does too.
He
which-
gives great nicknames. That's something I like about Trump. That his nickname game is on fucking
true.
point. Yep, Dirty Hillary, Crooked Hillary.
So
What do you call
little-
Jeb?
Something about his energy. No
Yeah,
energy. Jab,
no
was
energy
it?
Jab,
Something like that.
low energy
Little
jab.
Marco.
Crazy Bernie.
Fucking Crazy Bernie, yeah.
Lying Ted.
Yeah, Lying
I mean,
Ted.
He goes after everybody.
His nickname game is on
he called,
fucking point.
was it
I
Carly
like that.
Fiorina? Now, Carly Fiorina, I think, is not a dog. I think he kind of called her an ugly woman. She's not that ugly.
No,
I think she's not bad looking.
That's really bad tact, too. Come on. You start calling women out.
I think
ugly
this
woman.
shit's
Yeah,
funny,
but here again,
though.
now you guys will
His
say this
shit's
is no
funny.
excuse, but you remember the days.
And that's why people like him, because they think it's, I'm a troll, too. This is funny. Trolls love that shit, but it's not presidential to be a fucking asshole
here we go
like
again.
that.
I don't know.
But
When,
you know, what's it
when
say? That's
Truman
my
said
opinion.
shit like that, he
That's
was
taste.
colorful. Trump's a jerk.
Now, if Truman said it, he
was
said he was a
threatening people
cocksucker,
all
too.
the time.
I mean, cocksucker
he's-
then, cocksucker now.
Well, what is presidential, though? I mean, the guy's got
it's opinion. It's
stuffed shirt.
taste.
Let's,
Again, it's just
let us
taste.
I
not
don't
forget.
low
Let,
Not my
low
president.
energy
Hashtag.
jab.
let us
Yeah.
not forget that he totally accused Barack Obama of being born in another country and being Muslim.
Can you prove he wasn't born in another country?
No, I don't think I have.
All I asked for was a birth certificate, right? I mean, right?
I'm just saying.
He wants to see the birth certificate.
Yeah, he does want to see the birth certificate. And, yeah. Okay, as of May 1st, 2018, Trump told 3,001 fact-checked lies.
Okay.
Well,
And you don't think any other
At least it
president? Here
wasn't
we go again. You're
5,000.
going to say that makes it okay.
I'm not.
Bill
Who said
Clinton-
anything about
Bill
another
Clinton
I
told
am.
1,200 of them.
1,200?
I don't know.
Did you
that
count?
number.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Who
I don't
counted?
know. I'm just-
Somebody counted.
Yeah,
this.
somebody
Yeah,
did
but
count.
Hillary,
Here, I
but
can
Hillary
even
Clinton
give
had
you
over
the-
30,000 fucking emails on a private server.
Yeah.
No,
and-
that doesn't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I know.
any politician
I'm making a
lies.
joke here, Armand.
No, I'm saying the truth.
So-
Every politician lies.
do. They all lie.
I mean, what is the whole thrust of this show? Don't trust your government. Don't trust anybody.
Exactly my point. You've nailed the point of this show.
Oh, they actually have numbers on this.
Oh no, they got numbers. Look at these guys.
How many lies did he tell while he was golfing?
Look, I cut off hundreds of millions of dollars off one particular plane.
Can you guys hear this?
In a short period of time, it was like I spent weeks, hours.
Eric, would you talk into a microphone?
Hang on.
No, I can't hang on. Grab your microphone.
Cuts were already planned. You know what I mean?
This is horrible for the podcast. I'm just telling you.
It just shows everything that there's a website out here, and it's a New York Times interactive Trump lies, and it's got all sources for every one of his lies that he's come
All
up
right.
with.
Well,
and the
I would
dates.
counter with this, and here again, I guess suppose you would say that it's inefficient. It's not sufficient, but I say every politician lies, and I had a choice,
their
but
job.
I was never a big Trump fan. But I had a choice between him and Hillary, and I'd be damned if I vote for Hillary. That's all I
How
can
come
say.
you didn't like Hillary? Just
'Cause
curious.
she's a liar.
She is a liar.
And she got rich off politics.
Every politician lies, Armand.
correct.
What's different than Hillary and Trump?
But she's corrupt. Trump made his own money, I think. And,
Well,
and
he
most
lied
of,
about most of his money.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. That's what
A
you guys say.
small $1 million
What?
loan from my father when I was 18 years
Yeah,
old.
but the guy's a billionaire now.
Well, when he was-
allegedly.
The
How about
objection I
I
hear
believe it
is
was 1989. He claimed he had something like $180 million, and Forbes actually reported it was closer to $4 million. I mean, he's hype
Yeah.
for his money amounts. He's hype.
Do you think Trump's only worth $4 million?
It was 1989.
Oh, 89.
My point
I don't
is
know about 89.
My point is, dude's hype. You know what I mean? If he says he's worth $1 billion, you can imagine he's probably not worth over $200
Well, I
million.
guess I'm going to ask you is, okay, so that invites
But it
the
doesn't
question.
matter.
Well,
He's
that's
still
what I'm
rich as
asking. Do you
fuck.
think he's a lousy businessman?
I don't know. I
Do you think that matters as a president to be able to negotiate? I mean, to me, it implies that being a bad
I would think you
businessman
need
or
to
bad.
be a
I
good
think he's a good deal
businessman.
maker.
I think you need to be a good businessman.
Do you
to
think
be
he's a good
president.
deal maker?
I don't know any deals that he's made. Is
What
my
do you
problem.
think?
And I would say most of everyone out there doesn't know these deals, but most people would say yes, I think he's great, or no, I don't think he's great. You know what I mean? They don't know.
I don't think it says some may say he's great and some would say he's horrible.
I have a few
I
other.
say he's done good things. I say he's done some
I have
bad
a
things.
few good-
Overall, I would tend to good.
At least you're objective.
I have a few
Sure,
other
For the most
good
part.
things that
one,
he's
one,
done.
one by one.
I have a few other good things that he's
Okay.
done. By the numbers, the national debt has fallen $102 billion since his inauguration. $102 billion. he's
I
cut the
think
debt
so, but
by.
I don't know. We're
That's a
having this,
match on the fire, though. We have what, a $20
Yeah.
trillion
Right.
deficit?
Right.
Hey, good
No,
is
that's-
good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I even believe that because we're supposed to run $1 trillion debt this year. I don't know how the hell that's going to work out.
I hope not.
Although we're getting more revenue than ever before. I know that.
So record low African American unemployment
Correct.
under
That's
Trump.
true.
Now, whether you can attribute that to him or not, I don't know. But it's record low unemployment
Let
for
me just
African
say,
American.
if it was a record high, you know they would attribute it to him.
oh, for sure.
Okay.
So record low Latino unemployment right now. So that's
Right.
yeah. So I mean, so largest tax cut in American history was the repeal of the individual mandate tax. It repealed the individual mandate for health insurance.
Right.
So that's from whenever Obamacare was
That
put
saved
in
me
effect.
$1,100.
Yeah, yeah.
You would get a tax, like a penalty, right? Basically,
Right. I had to pay.
if you didn't have
$100 a month.
insurance.
It was $1,200 a month. I remember from last year.
If you didn't have insurance, that was your penalty.
Right.
That's kind of bullshit. That's huge bullshit, in my
Of course
opinion.
it is. But that's John Roberts. because that's not a penalty. That's a tax.
When I was looking into this, one of
That's
the
how it
earliest
passed.
examples of this is whenever in like 1760s, 1750s, there was a mandate on the books. It never actually made it into law. That would have required every white male, able-bodied white male, to own and be able to operate a gun and have ammunition. By law, you'd have to take it out of your own money and have it to be able to provide for the militia. But again, I find that to be bullshit. But they mandate that you must spend your own money on that. It's the same thing with the insurance. They can't mandate me to do anything with my own fucking money.
Well, they call it a tax. That's how they mandate it.
Yeah, that's bullshit,
not a
though. That's
penalty,
not
it's
a
a
tax.
tax.
That's not, in my definition of how taxes are, that's not a tax. I didn't spend any money for you to on my transaction for you to take a piece of it. There's no transaction. You tax me on my transactions. You tax me on my property that I own. That's about it.
Yeah,
You don't
well,
tax
what
me
country
on.
are you living in?
Well, I'm just saying, ideally,
Tax everything.
in a free environment.
Right, absolutely.
It's bullshit.
I know we're not free enough. That's my problem. And a lot of that is regulation, which
Liberty.
hopefully- Right.
All right, I think we got one last thing to do, and this was
Well,
I got
wait a
one-
minute.
I got
was
one
gonna ask
more,
you
too.
I had
Oh,
a
go
question
ahead.
for you guys. Do you think he's going to build the wall?
no.
I think it goes up
You think it
by
goes
the end
up?
of his second term. I think he gets reelected,
shit.
and there will be a wall up.
You went doubly
Think so?
down on that one.
Damn, Armand.
think
Anybody
we'll
want
ever
to
see
take
that
any
wall.
bets on that one? You think he'll be reelected?
What kind of odds you giving me? You sound pretty
Even money.
convinced. Even money, $5 then. I'll see you in. I'll see
I'll
you.
go. I got
2024.
5 on
Sure,
it.
you wanna
I got
put-
5 on it.
2024. I'll see you then.
Okay.
If that wall ain't done, or even
MAGA.
Hell, I'll give you if that wall ain't half built in 2024.
2025, January.
Good point. Good point.
Okay.
Whenever
I got
that,
3 more weeks. Okay.
All right, so the Everett and I.
Hold on, I got one more though. One more quick thing, and I've seen this on Facebook 100 times, and I don't quite get it. Maybe you can spread some light on it. What's Trump's opinion on guns and Second Amendment? Because I have family members on Facebook who are huge gun rights activists. They love owning guns, and I kind of get the feeling they're completely blindly in Trump's court just for the simple fact that they'll get to keep their guns.
A lot of people.
Well, a lot of people are like that.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't give a fuck about anything else. This guy is God because my one argument is met.
But
I can keep my guns.
That's
you're
why
going to
they're
get rid of
called hot
abortion.
button issue. Right. Some people abortion. Look at Jono. He just votes on how he treats Turkey.
Yeah, see, it's
He's
just
pro Turkey or
crazy.
Azerbaijan. I hate him.
You
Pro
can't,
Armenia.
when you
I love
can't
him.
get past a certain
That's
issue.
it.
You got to really look at yourself. You know what I mean?
Well,
Is this
people
that
do.
important to me that everything else is not?
It's fucked. Yeah, and that's what like Armand said, that's why they're called hot button topics. So
Right.
You know what I want to do, and I'm never going to do? I would love to create a list of fictional candidates who have staunchly weird views, like who is somebody who is completely pro-gun, but or anti-gun, but or anti-gay as well. You know what I mean?
So what, they just mix like left and right views?
Yeah,
together,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? And
Yeah,
start
yeah.
seeing, like, if people can get by it, like, they're so hardcore, like, I believe in gay rights so much that I'm just going to let this fucking horrible, like, gun law or whatever go into effect. It's
So
such
what
a hypocrisy.
percentage of the population do you think is like that, though, that votes on one specific?
Probably real small, but they're
40.
vocal.
I think so, too.
They're
40.
vocal.
30.
Well, that's why they're
30%.
stronger.
A quarter.
That's why the NRA wields such power, and the AMA for instance also. But the NRA is very even though they're not that big a segment of the populace, they're very strong and they influence votes because they are cohesive and they have a lot of power and they have PACs. And this is a problem with a lot of these issues. Some of these these people like Planned Parenthood, they have a lot of power.
Right.
Yep. Well, anyway, let's get to the game.
We got a game. Okay,
We
what's
have
the
a game that we've been.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So this
It's
is
pretty funny.
I have no idea what this game's going to be.
Are you ready for
I
this?
want everybody to know that.
Who said it?
Oh, who said it? Okay.
Donald Trump or Adolf Hitler?
We figured you'd love this one.
Or me.
All right, and
How
we're
about
gonna-
me? All right.
No, nobody knows what you said.
You will never learn what I am thinking.
Was that Trump?
Was that Trump
Or
or
Hitler?
Hitler?
Who put this out? Let's give him credit
This
real
is
quick.
telegraph.co.
So this is the
Okay.
English Telegraph.
Say it again.
You will never learn what I am thinking.
Hitler.
Okay, he says Hitler, and the answer was Hitler.
Yeah, I think
Very
I've
good.
read
That's
that,
one for
actually.
Armand.
I think
That's
I've
one
read
for
that one.
Armand.
Okay.
I want to be unpredictable.
Hitler or Trump?
Hitler or Trump?
I'm going to say
Armand?
Trump.
Okay, we got Trump, and it was Trump.
There's another
Good
one. That's
job.
two.
That's
Two
two
for
in a
two.
row.
I think Hitler may have said that too. I mean, you never know. But
Sometimes by losing a battle, you find a new way to win the war.
well, that sounds like Kennedy with that accent. I'll say Hitler.
It was Trump.
Oh, damn! I should have. I was going to change my mind. I
You
swear I was going to change my mind.
It's not the truth that matters, but victory.
I'll say that's Hitler.
That's Hitler, and it was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah,
Hey,
Adolf
3 for 4 so
Hitler,
far.
Armond.
yeah, I know that.
People who are following me are very passionate. They love this country.
That sounds like Trump to me.
Is that your final answer?
Trump.
That is, in fact, Donald Trump.
Oh, you're 4 for 5. Wow, you're doing good here. You know you're Trump and Hitler.
So this is sixth question
Oh,
here.
man, I admire, of course.
All great movements are popular movements.
What about bowel
Hitler.
movements?
That was Hitler. All great, and
remember-
I thought that
I
sounded
remember
like
that quote.
Trump.
No, I've heard that. I remember that quote. Okay.
I play to people's fantasies. I call it truthful hyperbole.
That sounds like Trump.
You're right. It
See,
was
that surprised
Trump.
me so much.
Yeah, because
I
we
don't
didn't
give
think
enough Trump enough credit to understand the word
Ever
hyperbole.
didn't think he knew what hyperbole was.
All
I
right.
immediately went Hitler.
Yeah, but
I
he doesn't
know. That's
spell
my
it right.
problem. I have such a Trump bias. I was like, fuck, Trump knows what hyperbole means. Bullshit. Hitler.
Make the lie big. Make it simple. Keep saying it.
Hitler.
And they will believe
Hitler,
it. Yeah,
of course.
I knew you knew that
Mein
one.
Kampf.
I knew you knew that one.
Hell, I use that quote.
Part of being a
That
winner.
should be a mantra of this show. I mean, not that we lie, but that's what people do,
lie,
right? They lie. and
Part
say
of
it
being
over.
a winner is knowing when to walk away.
Sounds like Trump. One of his deals. Art of the deal.
That
there.
was Trump.
Yeah, that's part of the deal.
What a shit game we've chosen
I
here.
know,
Armond
Armand's
nailed every
slaying
one
it.
but one.
How about just a good player?
Here's the last
I
one.
should have got that one, damn it. I was
Here's
going to
the-
change it, I swear.
If
Okay.
you win, you need not have to explain it. If you lose, you should be there to explain.
That's a tough one.
I don't think Hitler would be humble enough to explain anything. I'm going to say Trump.
It was Adolf Hitler.
Oh,
really?
you piece of shit.
Doesn't
You,
sound
you
like Trump.
piece of shit.
So what do we get?
You got 8 out of 10,
That's a
Armand. You
B.
get nothing but
I
a clapping.
I
That's
get a B.
80%.
I get
That
the
wasn't
clap?
bad. You get the clap.
Oh, okay.
I got some penicillin.
I don't think Marissa loves me anymore.
Not for that
Dude,
performance.
who is this guy hitting on Jay?
Saying,
This guy's been hitting on Jay nonstop.
That's cool. Jay gets to
Jamal.
play, man.
Yeah,
What's going on?
Oh, there's
get it,
there's a
dog.
love connection in the chat.
Hey, how come I want to
Calm down. You'll get your play. You'll get your play. Get on the group and put out a personal ad, Armand.
Yeah.
That's it. We should. Can we take some screenshots of your Plenty of Fish and profiles and whatnot and put them on the group?
My
Or
screenshots
directly link to it?
Mine are horrible. You took some pictures. I mean, they weren't
I
bad.
did. I helped you
gotta
take your pictures.
Touched by 12 gauge. This guy wants
Yeah,
you.
listen.
All right, well, is that all we got, guys, on
I
Trump?
just want to, I want to beg our listeners to find somebody for me.
You should post links to your dating profiles on the group. That'd be awesome.
I'll just give my number. I don't care. Anybody can call.
Put it right on there. That'd be beautiful.
Well, Marissa, I have to say,
Can I hook you up with a phone
I've read
recorder?
Mein Kampf. I don't, you know, I mean, obviously
read
I'm not,
it.
I'm not an, of course I did. Sure.
You an anti-Semitic?
No, absolutely not. You
Hey, you
know,
gotta
I'm
ask the
very
question.
pro-Israel.
Are you
You
willing
gotta
to learn?
ask, you know.
No,
Hey,
no, I'm
being
pro-Israel,
pro-Israel.
baby.
Never mind.
Pro-Israel. So
That all you got?
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
mean, how about the
Final thoughts on Trump?
But how about the FISA warrant and all that? How about
I don't know
you
shit
know,
about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole.
What do you got?
Well, the whole investigation was based on this FISA warrant that Christopher Steele, that was a paid British agent that was paid by the Russians.
Right.
That's why they investigated Trump, and they bugged his. It's true. They did bug his hotel room and all that.
During the
During the campaign. Yeah.
Fuck, man. I
What?
put
I
that
thought you
down
were
in this. Listen to this. Well, hang on.
What's all this?
I put as a crazy quote Trump said that I could. I can't believe Obama actually bugged me
Well, I'm
during the
not sure it
campaign.
was
Well, he
Obama.
did.
I'm not sure. It might have been.
What was
but
it,
I
the
think
administration?
yeah, it's the FBI. Yeah,
Somebody
absolutely.
there. But I thought he was fucking bullshit, and that's fucking crazy.
I'll give
that he
Obama
actually,
the benefit. I don't think he knew, but the FBI hates Trump's guts. You know
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Comey and all those guys. Anyway, I thought we were going to go into
My
that
thoughts
too.
on Trump. My final thought is I don't think
Yes.
he's Satan like everybody puts him out. I don't see like the meme, the lady screaming after he won. No, I don't have that intense hatred.
No,
that a lot of people
I don't have that hatred.
I
either.
don't like him as our
I don't
president.
like him.
But I mean, 2 more years.
But I mean, 2 more
Would
years.
you have what do you think?
I'm not saying
I'm not
impeach.
saying.
So what would have been the difference had Hillary won? What
Huh?
would be the situation?
Same. I don't like her either.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but I'm talking about as far as what
See-
would, I mean, we'd have a different Supreme Court justice.
I think she would have took
a
us to
liberal-
war.
Wow.
Russia.
With whom? With Russia?
Yeah, she was saying some shit during the 2016
Wow.
election. She didn't like. I won't be as easy on.
You think that's why
Putin.
Trump's like being easy on Putin because he doesn't want to go to war?
He's fucking scared. Scared
pussy.
little boy. Scared little boy.
I hope he is. I don't want. Do you want war with Russia? I don't want war with Russia.
I want war with Russia. No, I don't want war with Russia. Well, not at all.
Now it's an interesting accent you used with that. That implies that
Southerners.
some mountain man from Arkansas, or well,
No,
from
that
Arkansas,
was
in Arkansas.
that was actually
Yeah. What
I
was
don't
that
want
accent?
your
Who are you-
life.
Yeah, that was Johnny Mox in Texas.
Johnny Mox in Texas.
Bad
yeah.
Texas.
Bad Texas.
Real bad Texas.
But it's from a movie. It was called Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
Fire that
West
fucking
Canaan, Texas.
pigskin. These are my people. West Canaan, that's right.
Yeah.
Man, fuck Kilmer, man.
Good Lord. Now we've devolved.
Coach Kilmer,
We've
man.
devolved
Fuck-
into Varsity Blues quotes.
Fuck Kilmer, man.
Thanks everybody for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thanks. I didn't get a chance to read. I think things were getting pretty hot in the chat room.
Yeah,
there.
yeah, they got crazy. They
Oh,
got
of
crazy. We
course
didn't even
they-
moderate. Somebody said they wanted to finish all over somebody else.
Wow.
It was
Wow,
bad.
really?
Jay was
So
getting hit on
find
by
the show
guy.
on YouTube and watch back and just pay attention to the chat as it
Yeah.
goes. Apparently it was hardcore.
Chat was nuts. So
All right, guys. Thanks for
All right,
tuning
so
in.
we have a bet.
Armond.
What was our bet? We have to
$5 the wall don't go up by 2024.
No, and
2025.
how about the election though? The
What
re-election?
election?
I don't care.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
that's not-
I
that's-
got five
that's all
on. He's
about-
not. I got 5 on. He's not getting reelected.
I'm not betting.
Well, then automatically you win on the wall, I guess. Well,
Yeah.
unless the wall's up already.
Ooh.
So theoretically, it could be even.
Anyway, yeah. All right. For
All right,
Everett,
this-
Eric, and
no.
Armand, we are.
Well, no. We got to do our normal shit.
What do we do?
We are.
No. This has been a Surreal Talk, a lineofmedia.fm production. You can find us online at surrealtalkpodcast.com. Please vote in our poll. Team Eric, Team Everett. You can leave a voicemail on surrealtalkpodcast.com. Stop it. He's over there. Just stop it. All right, we'll
What's
just
he
let it
doing
go.
over there?
I don't know. He's having an orgasm.
Yeah, hyperventilating. Put a bag on this guy's head, will you?
Plastic, preferably, with some duct tape. All
Not
right,
a
guys.
plastic straw. You'll go to jail.
Don't forget to visit Yo Radio. We got a bunch of different genres, a bunch of different stations.
YoRadio.com, check it out.
Yeah, Yo
This Day in History.
This Day in History.
Oh, yeah, Armand's podcast. You guys are back.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, we're
Eric, shut
back.
the fuck up.
What?
Yeah,
Shut up. Calm down.
Something's wrong. Tony's been reasonably intelligent lately.
Uh-oh.
I don't like
What,
it.
you guys are
It's a
agreeing?
very disturbing trend.
You guys are agreeing?
Yeah, he's agreeing with me.
That doesn't sound like it'd be fun to listen to.
I know. The
Right.
show sucks when he agrees.
All right, well, thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next
We
week.
are out of here. That was another.
Oh, my ears hurt. All right. MAGA.
Like Mark great again.
Drain the
bud.
swamp.
Hell yeah.
Lock her up.
Lock her up.
I wonder what his I wonder
Lock her up.
what his
You
nickname
ain't
would have
taking
been
my
for you.
guns.
Stupid Eric.
Yeah, he would. I don't know what he would have called me. It would have been something though. Erratic Eric.
Erratic.
Stupid Eric. No.
Stupid.
He would have been like.
Stupid Eric.
It's beautiful.
I got a good Obama impression. Want to hear?
Yeah.
It's a horrible one.
Michelle. I only ever say the one word.
Michelle, I'm an asshole.
Michelle, why don't you call Joe Biden and get him down here? I need help wiping my ass. Michelle,
I got a pen. I got a phone.
I got a pen.
Oh, my God, you guys. All
Like
right.
your doctor? You can keep him.
Thanks, everybody on the stream, for catching us today. We'll catch you next week. See you on the group. Peace.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Good one, man.
I think I lost a few people on my team.
Yeah.
It was a good one.